right, the button. Button for live.
I hit the button.
The button specifically chosen to go live.
Yeah.
Live's button. That button?
Yes. Wow.
Sorry, the Poison for Cusco quote lives in my head, rent free. Ooh boy, that's a gooey start screen.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Hello, welcome to Carrion, I guess. But more importantly, welcome to What's Up, everybody.
Grab item.
Wipe sweat from my brow. How's y'all?
Oh,
excuse me. Sorry, I had a sudden cough. All right. Okay, hello. We are What's Up.
We
will tell you about the week. Lucky is fine-tuning Carrion before he starts. Just came to PlayStation. So, I'm sure, much like Far Cry last week, we'll be yelling about it. And also got some other stuff to talk about.
Freedom!
For instance, just before I
am a dangly boy.
Yeah. Much goop. I remember some trailers when this is either in early access or like first came out on Steam. It was very goopy. Very stringy.
Hello, I would like to be friend. That is my noise for please be my friend. No? Rude.
You're like the fucking Pillar Man. Oh, hey, vent. Whip.
Okay, fine. None of these people want to be my friend. Ah! Okay. That vent just shot me out. Hey, everybody.
Whee!
Yeah, no, I've been aim with R and R2. Oh, okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay.
Okay, kind of teach you stuff, showing you some things. What I was going to say before we got goopy, we got all wiggly out there, was just before we went live, I also freshly created a playlist for Kina, Spirits, on our channel. Collected all the streams, because we did do an extra one this week, because OBS wouldn't let me finish the game.
Oh, I got a door.
So,
okay, cool.
I did I think it's 4 or 5 video playlist.
Oh, no!
It's up there. It's got all the bits.
Let's see.
If you have missed any part of our Kina playthrough, or, just, want to go through and catch up, go ahead, find a playlist now. It's good.
I hate that.
As I wipe away my sweat from my brow, because I'm a sweaty boy. It's hot. Oh, geez, it was really hot today. It's obviously probably not that temperature now, because it is 7 o'clock at night here. But, well, a little before. But my weather strip says that earlier it was full sunny and 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which is abysmal for late October.
Can I grab this? I can.
It's
hello, friends! Hugs! Kisses!
Have you already eaten some stuff? You look a little bigger.
Yep.
I looked away because I was double-checking.
Blah! I don't want that.
Sweet.
The table! I hit them with the table. And I eat them. I give them hugs and kisses. Yes.
Well, while Lucky is hugging and kissing the competition, we're about 4 minutes in. I'd like to remind everybody this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHarp, Aga Comics, Akazime, Arctic10, Lucas G, Carlos, Dragon Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Shawnee P, some guy named Bob, Siren23, and Varen the Crow. If you like what we do and want us to do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it will really help us out. And then I rolled my shoulders and creaked my bones, even though I don't think you heard that.
Thank you.
Because it's behind my microphone.
Also, Legendary Boss Hunter, thank you. Well, no, you actually, I guess no, it's even, because you made the Dark Pact. You made the Dark Pact.
He made the Dark Deal, but yes, thank you for your super chat.
Oh, it's sunlight. I can't get
Go into my collection. It's good, because I got some purchases to make. Planning on getting Guardians of the Galaxy soon. Lucky's getting his bearings in Carrion. I think I can talk about my first thing. I just bought the PDF for Fields of Victory. So far, the latest source book for L5R. It came out in physical quite a while ago, but at some point in the past was finally added to Edge Studios' shop on account of the fact that they actually have all their stuff. I think I've talked about that before, but Asmodee, the parent company for Fantasy Flight Games, who makes a lot of stuff I like, and a lot of stuff the team likes. Obviously, the Star Wars RPG we've played for like 88 sessions. So, Asmodee, the parent company, like switched all their RPGs to Edge, which was previously a mostly unknown studio. They mostly did European localizations of Fantasy Flight games, and I think they published Anima, or possibly just localized it.
Wasn't
Anima the I believe originally Spanish, but very like heavily like JRPG inspired.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. I kind of remember it being anime as fuck for some odd reason.
Yes, it was super anime. But so they didn't really do a lot. So they announced this transition just before ye old quarantinefication. So their development process was actually super slow, and all their products have been super delayed during this transition. But I think it was technically last week. I just forgot to mention it. But they finally got their website in order. They have a new refurbished website. It's actually in English. It exists. You can now get news and check their store links and stuff. Go to drive-thru and whatever to actually get products. This includes updates and previews on stuff that's in the hopper. So they're working on the Twilight Imperium, I think fairly well-known board game originally by Fantasy Flight. They're working on the Twilight Imperium RPG for Genesis, which will also be probably the generic space opera book. That book has been delayed a shitload, so it's probably not coming out this year, but they will have a free preview adventure showcasing some of the new mechanics for Free RPG Day, so that's neat.
Oh, this person has a gun.
That's very unfair. You don't have a gun. You just have tentacles.
I just have tentacles. What do you... Oh, whatever. I do not deal with gun right now. Blah. Oh, maybe I will go down with a gun. There we go. Whee!
I love how it shoots you out of the vents. Also, just like, woo! But they've also got news items tracking Writ of the Wilds, the Dragon Clan sourcebook for L5R. They're doing the Adventures in Rokugan, the 5e hack, which may or may not be okay. They have another classic FFG D&D setting, Midnight, which is going to get a 5th edition adaptation, and lots of other little things. So they have their website up. They're going.
Ooh.
And some interesting remodeling there, Chief.
Listen. I am an interior decorator of the highest standards, and this place does not have enough red and tentacles.
Correct. But the other big thing that came out was that Edge had been talking about, like, everybody had said, oh, there's no news about the Star Wars RPG. What's going on? The smart of us who were following this were like, well, it's probably because that's a licensed product, guys. And licenses are dumb like that. So the license was with Fantasy Flight for RPGs. They didn't have the right to like spread it around. So Edge apparently finally made finished their negotiations with LFL, and they have the license to produce the Star Wars RPG again. They will be reprinting old books and doing new source books. Some outlets, including Polygon of all things, have incorrectly reported this as they are making a new game. Edge has clarified through other sources they are not necessarily making a whole new Star Wars RPG. They are going to reprint the current one originally designed by Fantasy Flight and continue its product line.
I'm just...
if they wanted to do like a revised version where they just, maybe codify the symbols and they, do some of the balance tweaks from Genesis, maybe, but no, it seems like they're going to stay with like continuing the product line in the future.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't mind if they went through everything with a... Oh, hey.
Yeah, if they actually did some errata and re-editing when they republish those books, maybe catch some errors that everybody knows exist. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally expect probably their primary things will be, because there's no reason for a brand new game lines. I think Force and Destiny, Edge, and Age of Rebellion cover all of them pretty well. The main things you will probably see is at some point a High Republic / Old Republic sourcebook with the KOTOR remake coming and the High Republic like multimedia push. And by multimedia push, we mean mostly just novels and comics. Though I do believe one of the live-action series is supposed to be pre-Phantom Menace. I think that's The Disciple they're working on. So there is some live-action TV precedent here. But yeah, so I think that combined with like the artistic stylings of Vision means that that will be pretty in high demand. You could probably fill out and reprint some of the specs from the Jedi tree and give them maybe 2 more, so you have 6 like every other career in the game system. The other big one I suspect that is probably high on Edge's list is a post-Return of the Jedi, The Mandalorian themed book. Not a book necessarily about Mandalorians, but explicitly using the time frame and world building of The Mandalorian. Because, you know, it's 2 seasons and it's super mega ultra popular and it has spin-off shows and all that other fun stuff. So that's my personal guesses. Yeah, you did.
They got me.
They're very shooty.
They're very shooty.
Bang, bang. But yeah, so that's my big predictions of what they're going to do with the rights, and we'll see where everything goes. I think it's Twilight of the Imperium is the Twilight Imperium one. Like it's or something like that. Maybe it's I don't know. I don't remember the name. It's got a dumb name. They all have dumb names. Heroes of Terranoth, Beneath the Beanstalk, whatever. Actually, it's Shadows of the Beanstalk, but you know, it's. I personally think that like a lot of it is kind of non-indicative, and maybe they shouldn't do that because I got to be real. Nobody bought Realms of Terranoth because they really liked the Rune Wars miniatures game, which is now dead, or the Descent board game. They bought it because Genesis needed a fantasy hack, but whatever, you know, marketing synergy. Android is at least Android Netrunner is at least decently popular and has like a novella and stuff, so maybe that worked. But I'm excited for Rid of the Wilds next year, and like I said, their PDF store for L5R is fully moved over to Edge, and they have Fields of Victory, the Lions Clan sourcebook, which was kind of in a weird hell because it was the last product that FFG put out, and FFG was just like, now we don't do the PDFs anymore, so it was in a weird place. That's good to get. It's got some, I think, some fun new stuff in it, a lot of revamped stuff for mass combat. Several new unarmed techniques because it involves the Badger Miner clan, who have a wrestling school. So that's kind of interesting.
I can't go there.
Plays a little bit around with the gunpowder and how that, you know, is verboten, but also not verboten. It's got the classic Daidoji Harrier school, for instance, which is very funny. They use bombs, even though they're not supposed to. Got some more lion schools and stuff. You probably will not care super much, Lucky, because you're not going to change any of your thoughts for a school, because guess what, guys? It has yet another Yogo school in it. Now, it's a Bushi school, so it's a non-Shugenja school, but it's also a monk-tagged school, which is a joke I made like 2 years ago about the Yogo, because they have like a straight-up Shugenja, you know, a magic-using school. And I think one of their schools is also a shinobi school. And I was like, yeah, they're going to get a monk school before this is done. And here we are. Motherfucking monk school. I mean, I think mechanically it's fine. It's just a lot of fans of the Scorpion Clan find it very either frustrating or funny how the schools are distributed so far in this system. It's very interesting that the Bayushi, the arguably iconic central, you know, the head family of the clan, has got like 2 schools. They didn't even get their Bushi school until like 2 source books in. Yes, whereas Yogo have like 3 and Shosuro have like 2 or 3 schools. It's a little funny.
Can't go in there. Let me just rub myself all over this stuff though. Just rub
but there's a lot of fun stuff. I'll probably go through and update all my my little lists and stuff sometime when I have time to redigest the book. I read through some like internet spoilers and scans and stuff way back in the past, but I've purchased the book myself as well. So that's neat.
Very neat.
And I got other stuff I need to. I don't need to get, but I'm thinking about getting more Yu-Gi-Oh products to buy, more cardboard crack. There's you know, Burst of Destiny is coming out early next month. Really want Live Twin Trouble Sunny. That makes that deck work. Very important if I ever want to go to locals and play my, you know, cute anime waifu's Phantom Thief archetype. Yeah, I'll be that guy. I'll be rocking my my Dark Magician sleeves.
Do it.
I do also want to buy some boxes of Maximum Gold, but I've talked about doing a little bit of a donation drive for that because it's a little expensive. So this week, obviously, I can talk about this. We skipped Fail Portrayal because I did Kina that day, and I talked to the guys, but a lot of them were tired and we didn't have a lot of energy, and I wouldn't have the energy myself. I played like testing games for like an hour, and then I was just plumb exhausted. I've been tired a lot lately. I think I talked about this. Like I said, I'm like stiff today and sore. I think I need to, take a second and one, I think I need to get a hot shower tonight, but also I think I need to take a second and like vacuum out my room and strip about all my sheets and wash those and stuff.
I was doing a bit of cleaning the other day myself.
Do the old cleansify, Oh, there's no decide, Axe. It's Ice Barrier. That's the big one. If we're doing Fail Portrayal next week, which I hope we are, it will be Ice Barrier, which is a very large and long-running archetype. We will absolutely go fucking insane trying to do it all. Oh, are you a dude now?
Yeah, I'm a dude. I went into a machine, and the machine was all like, "You a dude now." Did I used to be a dude?
Yeah, you're having some kind of flashback. Either you was a guy, or you like are experiencing a guy's memory or something. Good old storytelling. Are you being followed by a bat, or is that like a drone?
That's like a drone. That's a quadcopter.
Okay, it's hard to tell in the preview window because I don't. So I can watch chat. I don't live screen the preview window of our stream. Widescreen. I occasionally take a tiny vacuum and vacuum out the back panels. I don't open up its guts because that would require a little bit of like going back. I know you're supposed to do that occasionally, but time for. My PC has been a little weird lately. I need to get in. CC Cleaner's like, oh, you got some like junk space and stuff, and I'm like, cool, where is it? And they're like, hold on, we got to do the whole thing, and I'm like, oh my god, guys, you said you know where the stuff is. Just tell me where it is. Don't run me through the whole process. But yeah, I think I need to run one of those defrags and clean up and stuff. Sync everything. Maybe delete some old junk project files that are big.
Oh, playing some C4.
Some fresh, clean space. But yeah, no. Planning on Tuesday doing a Fail Portrayal for Ice Barrier. It's being big. I'll be drumming up and shilling donations and stuff for our sanity. Because I'm sure our brains will be melting while it's done. This archetype has literally been going on for 10 years and has been consistently supported with like batches of support. And it's not even like proper legacy support where like every 5 years they remember the anime came out and they add like 2 new Dark Magician cards or something. Like, those are also insane and will probably kill our brains if we ever get around to them. Interesting. What was that? The Derelict?
Yeah, no. It's like, I wonder. So either I'm experiencing the memories, dude, or I was that dude, and that then turned into a tentacle monster. Is this an upgrade to my life? I don't fucking know.
Well, you've got a lot of swinging energy right now.
I know.
But yeah, that'll probably be my my big quote unquote donation drive for buying a big old box of Maximum Gold Eldorado, which I will. If I do, I will try and set up some kind of streaming. I don't really want to stream video from my phone, so I'll probably have to figure out like what's the best way to get not necessarily a webcam, but a camera I can tell my computer, hey, stream this. Which may or may not be a whole rigmarole. That's weird. Oh, okay, you're making a new point. That was a little weird.
I'm in the mines now.
Everything about this game is weird and gross.
Yes, I love it. Hello.
The uranium mines. How pleasant.
Hugs. Don't waste food.
And yeah, you may be asking Omega, hey, what about Deathloop? And I'm like, it's okay.
It's okay.
I mean, the game is good. I really like it, but also it's literally a time loop game. So, shocker, there's moments where you have to kill time in the time loop game, and I'm just kind of like, I no longer feel my sense of urgency to keep doing these things. I will probably get around to beating it eventually. I do not think it sucked me into its world of shenanigans as much as, say, Prey did. But I'll get there eventually. I think it's a good title. But all right.
I'm tickling this door. I'm tickling it.
20 minutes? I don't know if Lucky is yet ready to come down from his tentacle high and talk about stuff.
I'm never going to be down from this tentacle high. Ah! Ah! Stop that! Stop that! You stop.
And this is why on Monday, Lucky's going to be playing the Alan Wake remaster.
Yes.
Because of the Wii and the
No, no, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Stop that. You stop that. Stop it. Stop it now.
All right, so.
Well, these guys are wily. Oh, okay. I see. I'm kind of tracking along. So your biomass shrinks as dudes shoot.
Oh, he was waiting for me. You animal man.
Oh, do they? Well, he either resets to that position or maybe they have like a memory.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I gotta be real, if I saw this red goop tentacle monster go up a platform, I would not forget that that's where he went. I would be waiting for him.
Oh, thanks. I guess the game can't handle this. I'll send in a report. God damn it.
Oh, did we get a crash?
We got a crash.
Weird. All right. Well, you just got a checkpoint, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
But
it has been I think it has been since Cyberpunk since I had one of those on the PS5.
I get them.
Like, I don't get a lot of game crashes.
But, I guess I could talk a bit about Far Cry 6, because I have been playing it throughout the week, and I have thoughts.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I picked up Far Cry 6 last week. I bought it last Saturday, played it on stream. I was all like, ta-da! Again?
Back to back? Weird.
All right, let's... Okay, if this happens the third time, I just might have to switch. No, fuck it, I'll switch to fucking Far Cry 6. That's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of is if you need to, like, load a specific file back. Don't know how many autosaves it makes or anything.
Alright, here we go. Uno mas! Ah! Nope, I can tell already, it just crashed.
Like, it does not like loading that next segment. That's weird.
That is super weird.
Huh.
Okay,
well, here's your review, kids.
Yeah!
Crashes a little bit.
Alright, well, either I don't want to fucking start all over, so I'm lazy about that. So, guess what? We're going back to Far Cry 6, kids. Yay! I'm gonna go edit this. To say, well, let's see, we don't have a game title anymore. It's now just, we are gaming. Save.
Fair enough.
So, I've been playing Far Cry 6, and for a game that lets me shoot people in the face, I enjoy that. Sometimes I just want to go load up, get some sweet guns, and shoot people in the face. Unfortunately, I can really say all that's really good about Far Cry 6. Well, no, that's a lie. That's a lie, me. Don't lie to people. There's many good things about Far Cry 6, but when it comes to, like, the genuine gameplay aspect of it, it is literally, and I mean this, literally nothing new. So,
press cross button to start.
Yes, thank you, menu reading man. You have read me the menu. So, like I said, so let me show you how much. Let me show you how much I've done. Let me show you how much I have done here. All right. So, we have a fairly big map. It's a fairly big map. Like this is everywhere I was this month. That's just a tiny bit first map. And there's a little bit of fun to do.
Yeah, we talked about this on stream too. When you zoomed out the map and you were like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. Now, I've done all this. I'm right here. Oh, I'm right here. I'm right next to a fort. Neat. I should take it out. I've done all this. Currently, working through here. Shit's going down. Me, I'm over here because I'm getting bored and I want to shoot things. So, I can see here, I've loaded up on plenty of stuff. I got the sick rifle. I prepped it myself. I discovered canted sights, which I think is something believable, because, like, basically, like, hey, haha, behold, my zoom in, but now I'm going to cant it. Aha, now I have a different sight for different angles. I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, I do believe that is actually a modern accessory technique they've started using in the past few years.
So,
when your recoil's that zeroed in, it doesn't actually matter if you shoot your gun at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, I know, like I said, like, oh, I have a ghost cat. He's great. No, excuse me.
That's pretty cool.
I got her by finding all 3 divine relics and praying to my my heathen gods. I'm dead serious about that.
You were awarded with a spirit animal ghost panther. Cool.
And a gun. Yeah.
Well, of course, it's Far Cry.
Yeah, and they gave me this revolver, and it's kind of fun. I like it, but basically this thing is wild. Basically, when I do a blood pack, Actually, when I do a blood sacrifice of myself, I can fucking shoot people through walls with this gun.
I remember we saw that in the because they tell you what everything does.
Also, we have a magical spirit sight. It's just a floating thing around a circular thing. I'm like, We a little wild here. We a little wild. Actually, can I get up there? No. Oh, yeah, I can. Okay, so here's one thing I don't like about this game. Climbing, it's weird. I don't know I can fucking climb that, but if I don't have it, like, right on, sometimes it won't tell me that I can fucking climb it. Can I get in here? I can! Neat.
Oh, so you gotta be at, like, the right angle for it to... Because it doesn't look like it's not a free platforming. It's a... basically a scripted thing. Press X, climb inside.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a shame.
Again, I don't know what doors I can open until I, go, boop. Oh, I could open that one. Haha. I shouldn't have gone in here. Good job, me. Like, sometimes you can see which one when it's at, but... Let's see here. Oh, shit. Well, this is a good time to show this power off. So you cut my hand. Activate that. Behold, there are people. Fuck that person. Fuck that person. Fuck that person.
And of course, everything is blue and red.
Mm-hmm.
We talked at length on Let's Talk the other day. Also, you can see your ghost cat just killing people in the background there. We talked at length yesterday on Let's Talk about the interplay of contrasting and colors and stuff.
Yeah, so...
Whether blue and red mean anything deeper, or if it's just, no dog, blue and red.
Hello!
Which for some people would be earlier today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so the game is good at shooting stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not non-shooting things.
No. So the story missions are very... Because, like, the big focus is on just shooting things. Oh, wait. Is on just shooting things. And it's... I guess it's one, shooting things, and two, getting places. Hang on, I need to get my overclock grenade launcher. Who decided I should have a grenade launcher? I don't fucking know. Problem solved. Now, like I said, gun feels good. The only problem is I don't know. Excuse you guys. Words. Now the thing is when they had these resolver weapons, I don't like these resolver weapons. They're like, oh yeah, check out these resolver weapons. You know, they're all fucking sweet and cool and let you do great stuff. I'm like, okay, but if you guys haven't noticed, most of the weapons I use are silenced because I don't know if it's a me thing, but usually I almost never, and I mean this, never go into anything just guns blazing. That just seems like a pain in the ass overall because once you everyone figures out you're there, everyone knows you're fucking there, and they'll try to shoot you. What is this jank-ass move you're doing? Fuck you. Bitch.
Hold on. Roll that back to me. Did a guy bail out of that hello?
Yeah, no, they can drop, they can parachute troops in.
Okay, so he was like, it was like a planned paradrop.
Yeah, like I said, they're bringing in dudes.
It's a hind kind of trick, as opposed to, I thought that guy just got scared because you shot it with a rocket and jumped out. I was like, hold on a second.
No. Oh, my cat finished it. I was trying to find the dude. My cat's like, nah, I got this, fam. So, the game, it just does the fun crazy things where you run around, you shoot dudes, you take bases. Alright? That's okay, except for the fact that that's basically all the game is. It's like, most missions are that. Not all missions. There are some very fun missions. Fucking, some of the Amigo missions, quite hilarious. Because, let me... I have Chichiron, Angry Bird. Just look at the flavor text. Chichiron's lust for battle cannot be satiated. He slings himself at an enemy from a distance. This is the most angry fucking chicken you ever knew. We took out
a literal Angry Bird.
We literally took out like 2 bases and a monument by ourselves, and Chichiron is like literally like pecking like things to death. And I had to spray paint his tag over things so everyone knows that Chichiron was here. That was fucking hilarious.
Listen, chickens are just tiny T-Rexes.
They are. And basically the entire time you're doing this, you're just making commentary about how you're following a giant angry chicken and how he is the leader in this operation. Which, you know, personally, I find hilarious. I'm like, no, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted.
I will say, that's not a gameplay thing, but that does seem to be something I've noticed from your streams before and your own comments. The Far Cry sense of humor seems to be well represented in this.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how much that's a through line, but I definitely remember that semi-frequently in 4, which is the big one I played, was that, like, you split your time between being, like, this is really fucked up, what the fuck is happening, and, you know, stuff that is just either ambiently funny or, you know, actual funny character dialogue.
Yeah, no, like, listening to Juan anytime Juan's talking is pretty fucking funny. Let me go do this one. Like I said, like, the Amigo mission's pretty fucking funny. Like, Philly was a character from the first area. He was a bit of a comedian. Also, I don't know if this was in previous ones, just be able to, yeah, I'm gonna pick a spot. I'm a wingsuit from there. Whee, away I go.
Yeah, the wingsuit was a big mechanic in 4.
Okay.
Because it was, you know, up in the Himalayas, so there was a lot of verticality.
Yeah, no, but this is like how I like to get around now. You know, I just pick a spot, and just wingsuit in.
Yeah, I think they got like some better draw jets on this tech, but you could do that for certain areas in 4. And I say certain areas just because you had to go high-low, but yeah.
You can get on the, oh, wait. I like it. You can actually shoot from here. You can, like, pull out your weapons. You can even pull out your scanning tool and start getting an an airpoint view. Yeah, but all missions in this game are going somewhere to either going somewhere to shoot someone or to pick up something. They do
obtain nondescript bag or shoot man.
Let's see if I can beat those soldados to that supply drop.
Like this mission right here. I just gotta get to that supply drop over there. But oh, is that it is. But all it is basically a just a get to checkpoint thing. Usually they have them set in a way that there's like your perfect vehicle for getting there, but I won't lie, I've cheesed a lot of these just by grabbing a helicopter, parking it nearby, and just going there. So I'm just like, I don't know if this was really neat. I don't know if this kind of mechanic was actually necessary.
They definitely talked up a lot of their travel stuff in the preview, especially because of like government checkpoints and stuff, so I assume it's kind of intended to have this kind of like bigger vehicular element.
It kind of is like I said, one of the things you have is rides here, where you get 4 different vehicles between. Like, you can pick up any vehicles, but these are your rides. Ooh, excuse me, as it were. Me, I have the Hummer because fuck yeah, big thing. And you can put like different types of guns on it. Like this is just a forward-mounted turret. But you can also put, like, a co-op turret if you want to, and they each have, like, different stats. Like, this one is armor piercing, but it's a turret. This one's a turret but poison. Soft target. This one's mounted but explosive, but I only shoot it forward. And you can upgrade them. And me, I love upgrading. You also get, you know, the defensive ones, the countermeasures, if anyone ever fucking chases you. You can do this. By the way, I have never actually been in a situation where a vehicle is chasing me because usually I outrun them really fast or I have blown them up. So I'm like, But you also got these little things like defense here. You can just get plates that let you like take different damage, and then your ram. Just hit a ram. Some of them do slightly different things. You can ignore spike strips, or increase your impact force, disable vehicles, stun duration, all that good stuff. So it's a little bit of this. And then you have your cosmetics, which is always super important. Super important. Gotta look fly. Something I do enjoy, though, is that all your companions are animals. I super enjoy this. I don't need people. Fuck them. I just need my animal pals. We're cool. I've not got Boom Boom yet. He's probably in the last one, but I'm sorry. I love my ghost cat. He's a stealth one. He'll kill things, and when he kills things, they fucking their corpse just vanishes into a mysterious mist, which is great for not having to deal with bodies. So I'm like, no, Oluso, you are the best. I had to fight her, but we became friends afterwards. You know, it was a trial. Ah, screw it. I'm just going through the fields. Shit! That was a bad idea, me. Moment.
Off-road and blind slammed into some guys.
Oh god, I've never really liked driving in first person. Well, because if you guys don't know, Lucky just doesn't like driving in general. But I do like this little flavor text. When you are driving, your character will sing along with the radio. I'm like I know, I enjoy that. I enjoy that little technique because it makes your character feel like a fucking person. Like that's
very good because that's something I know that has been a complaint out of certain Far Cry games.
Like I want to say like 3.
Yes.
Like 3. Well, I'm sorry. I have more problems with 3 than just that. I swear to God,
I never played 3. I heard it was cool and then I just picked up 4. 4. I don't remember his name right now, but the main character was a character. Like he had motivation and like reasons for doing things, and then was just like, man, this place is kind of like fucked up. This is weird. I wanted to just scatter my mom's ashes, but now I'm like deeply in touch with my original culture and stuff.
Yeah, no,
spirit journey and everything.
Like Far Cry 5 had that problem where you were just ye old U.S. Marshal who just got in a bad spot, so you really didn't have any character either. Hey, surprise! It's a gun. Oops. Oops. Like I said, I shoot real good.
Pop.
Go get him. Like I said, I'm gonna send my cat after them. Oh no! And his corpse's game. Gasp. But now this mission is I just grab this and guess what? The mission's done. Yay!
Yeah.
Honey, you've outdone yourself.
Seems like the usual sorts of open world. Wander around and do stuff, and it's cool.
It is cool. But so the story missions are interesting. Like, the story missions aren't bad, especially when the characters has bands, because Danny, your character, is sassy. And
I mean, why wouldn't you be? Once again, this is a Far Cry game. Why wouldn't a Far Cry like, there's only 2 settings. You either have to be like, feel like you're going fucking crazy, or you have to be sassy because of how every goddamn Far Cry game starts, or at least since like 3. I don't remember the like 2 old school ones, but like usually you're minding your own goddamn business, and then some weird wacky guy comes around and murders everybody around you, and now you got to go do some shit and murder a lot of dudes. So like there's only 2 ways you can do that. You either have to be like taking crazy pills, or just be like, I'm 100% done with this right now.
I think I have to.
Yeah, so the like fast travel into wingsuit thing I think is new 6.
Yeah, no,
in 4 you would just like be like, I'm on a cliff. Oh, you want me to go way down there? Whee!
Now! I missed. I don't know how I survived that though. Oh, I dislocated my. Oh, wait, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
All right, you broke some stuff.
I'm fine.
Undo it. Pop it back into place. You're fine. You're a true gorilla.
Gorilla. Yep. Hang on, I gotta try that again because I'm pretty sure this is the only way I can get on top of this. Wingsuit. Oh, parachute. That works too. But I can go straight from parachute back into wingsuit if I need to. So I'm like, yeah. So yeah, like a lot of like traveling is just doing like this, because something I do find actually kind of interesting is when you get into areas you can't actually always use things like helicopters and airplanes because they have AA turrets around here. Now! Oh. Shit. Did I make it? I made it. No! Gravity wins again! Okay, I gotta do that a little bit different. So, let me see here. Yeah, like this. Like AA turrets. Like basically anything in that cone in front of it, if it's like an actual vehicle, they'll just shoot me the fuck down. So you have to go take those down. I'm like, okay, I enjoy that because I like, having to open up my options. And
yeah, and I think it fits with the design setting for like you're an open world game, but
Mhm.
right, like you have to like control how the players can access stuff, and some of that is just like, oh, we don't go in the upcountry. That's where our dictator friend is the strongest. We'd never get in there until we've systematically destroyed everything in the low country. Kind of a thing, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of interesting how predictable and tropey Far Cry is at this stage, 6 games deep.
Like I want to say like I'm not. Ah shit. Nope. I missed that one up too. Fuck. I want that crate. So here's one of the things that I like and dislike about this game. So in order to get most of your weapons, you have to find them. You have to fucking find them. Same with your armor? Question mark. But basically, you have to go find F&D crates which gets you weapons, and then the Libertad crates which give you armor. Unfortunately, they don't tell you which thing is in which fucking crate, and it's not always fucking guaranteed. So here I am. I have maxed out my rank. I'm at 15 here. Like, the ranks actually are only listed up to fucking 14. So guess what? I'm only like not even halfway through the fucking game. Well, no, I guess I'm about halfway through the game here. I've already maxed out my rank, and I got a fuck ton of weapons. But there's some weapons I just haven't found yet. Like, I'm missing this light machine gun. Don't know where it is. Missing a shotgun. Don't know where it is. Missing the regular-ass grenade launcher, which I've been looking for forever. I had to do some co-op shit, so I could get the Libertad custom. Which, is fine. But at the same time, I'm like, I would like to have found this already. And pistols... You see all these other ones are like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I haven't been able to find any new fucking pistols except this fucking revolver, which I couldn't put a silencer on. So I'm just like, okay, where is my shit?
And they are like truly all in crates, right? Like do enemies like drop any guns you can work with?
Nope. You can sometimes find there's another special crate which has unique items, but here's the thing, I don't like unique items because honestly, they're not actually that fucking unique. Like,
well, what I was about to say was because you had like several unique pistols down in that list. Those I assume are all like pre-customized and you can't fuck with them, right?
Right. I can't touch them. I can't do what I want with them. Like,
yeah.
Like I said,
obviously, if you find a build you like, I'm wondering if this has a similar problem to my experiences with Deathloop, which is Deathloop is cool. It has a lot of variable things. You can do all kinds of fun stuff. I always sneak because if I don't sneak, I get murdered by guys with shotguns. That shoot me in the face. So why would I use this crank action Gatling gun rifle thing when I can, use my nail gun and shoot men silently from very far away?
Yeah. So like, yeah, no, if you like these things, that's cool. But like, they specify the ammo you use, they specify the sights, and I think their stats might be different from what it is because like this is like yeah, I think the stats are a little. Oh no, their stats aren't different. Now I see. It's just a preloaded configuration that might have some mods that you may or may not be able to get originally. But like I said, like I've locked in my playstyle pretty quickly. Like I said, it took me a bit of futzing around. It did, but like I have my semi-automatic rifle. It's great for mid to long range. It's silent and it fires as fast as I shoot the thing. And as you can tell, almost no weapon sway. If a dude is standing still, he's dead. He is dead. I have taken out fucking mid bosses with this fucking rifle from afar.
Perfectly zeroed in.
Like I said, if I need to get a little bit closer, they're a little bit closer, I switch to my dot sight here.
And by the way, Lucky, that stuff you said means that this is the exact gun I would also use because that's how I usually play these games. I'm pretty decent at first-person shooters. I don't think I'm super good, but I have occasionally gone on tears, like playing like Titanfall 2 and stuff. I've gotten like some of the trophies you only get for killing a shitload of dudes and stuff. Like I'm okay. If I have a good moment against the right opponents, I can rip and tear and stuff. But I'm not like pro all the time. So usually I prefer especially in PvE shooters, I prefer the long range precision fighting. I treat it like a real gunfight. I want to have as few bullets coming towards me as possible because that's when the bullshit happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that is absolutely the kind of way I would do these sorts of things to like slow, like long range engagement, slow up. The fact that you can literally do 2 optics, so when a guy is too close, you just be like, all right, I'm just going to do the hollow dot sight. shoot you from up close. You know,
Like, and as you saw
Like-
when I came in earlier, like the gun feels pretty good. Like, I really do like the haptic feedback. I wish I wish I could.
yeah, the haptics on the PS5 are brilliant.
Because basically this is when I know I tried talking about this earlier but when I have my finger on the trigger, it depresses just a little bit, like to the fact that you have your finger on the trigger, and when you actually pull it, it goes from full resistance to no resistance, and then back up to full resistance because you basically have to pull the trigger. When you have an automatic weapon, it does the same thing. So it's like your finger's going. It's like literally the R2 is literally pushing back as your gun is firing. I'm like, oh man, this is so good. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
I hope more games are gonna do this.
Which is also how if you have never been shooting, guys, it's kind of how a real trigger works.
Yes.
Like there's a little bit of wiggle, and then when you pull with intent, you pull with intent.
Mm-hmm. Now,
But then there's also a shit. There's any kind of gun has a. I think the only thing I've fired that basically has no recoil is a 22, which is basically a pop gun. Still very dangerous, but like not that recoil intense. But most handguns still have a little bit of, so you ride the recoil out. But yeah, it's very interesting. I love what the PS5 has done with the haptic feedback on the triggers.
Yeah. Now, so this is the other weapon. By the way, I went for the skins with the most bling on them because that's how I roll.
Mm-hmm.
But this is my MP7. This is my MP7. As you can see, it's silenced. It has a red dot sight, and it has a hit pointer. It has mods so that it lets me do more damage when I'm aiming down the sights, improves body shot, weapon damage, and the suppressor cooling rate. Because this is how the suppressors work, and I actually really do like this. Basically, we talked about this last week as well, but I'm gonna go and do it again here. But basically, how the suppressors work is it has basically 3 parameters. Basically, how much it affects range, how much it affects your noise, and how quickly it overheats. Basically, once your suppressor overheats, it no longer works as a suppressor until it cools back down. So it's kind of you gotta gauge your shots. That basically means on things like submachine gun goes up really quick. That's why I put that cooling rate on it. But this is I'm gonna get up and close and personal. I use soft body target rounds because it actually increases my overall damage. Because here's something I'm not sure I actually do like about this is one of the mods you can get is a bunch of round types. You can have your standard rounds, then you can have armor piercing rounds, soft body target rounds, and then you can have things like blast rounds, incendiary rounds, poison rounds.
So basically, your standard full metal jacket, actual armor penetrators, probably hollow points if they're soft body, scary stuff, and then fun fake bullshit guns because those are really expensive and you don't. There are in fact a lot of really fancy weird willet types. Most of those are highly specialized and nobody actually uses those.
Yeah. For grenade launchers, you can do things like you can have smoke grenades or fucking like EMP grenades, which EMP grenades are useful. You tag a helicopter with EMP grenade, it just goes down. You're like, nah, this problem is solved. But on the ground, that's not so great, especially like with a tank, because the problem is when you do like an EMP, I can't do the modifications here. When you do an EMP round on that, it brings your damage down to nothing. So I was like, all right, I have stopped this tank, but I can't destroy this tank. How do I do this?
So is there no like, fucking Halo 2 board tank punch man inside tactic?
Oh no, there totally is, but that means I have to run up on a tank. Sometimes not a fan of that, because here I'm gonna use this to go into something else that annoys me. All your special tricks and abilities are locked to your fucking armor. And then you can only
Ooh, no, I don't like that.
No. So
give me an old-fashioned perk tree, guys.
Pretty much. So right now, like you're seeing here, I have actually I don't need this because it's not night right now, so it's doing fucking nothing. Right now, I have the marksman goggles, dark hoodie tech, dark tech pants, Mebo says I'm average, whatever, and marksman gloves. As you can see below each of them, they have an ability. This one, Thrifty Shooter, headshots were followed around. Chameleon slows down detection speed. Reduce movement noise. Reduce movement noise. Improves weapon sway. Now, this wouldn't bother me so much, but except for the fact, let me see if I can find. Oh, it's usually in gloves. Gloves. Pin puller. Doing machete pull, use R1 to aim a grenade on an enemy. Okay, that seems like a move that I would just like to have in general. Security experts, improve alarm disable speed and enable alarm sabotaging using triangle. I was like, okay, another ability that I would just like to use that I would not have to switch armor for. Fucking.
So, okay, I have a very important question. Can you switch gloves whenever you feel like it?
Oh, yes, you can.
Okay, so it's not like you're locked out of this abilities. It's just really fucking tedious.
Because if I go into combat, I would have to be like, oh, wait, go to arsenal. Pick thing, look for the right one, then exit out, exit out, exit out. I'm like, no, just give me a fucking perk tree. Like, they're not against it, because, let me see here, where is it? Others, was it resolver materials? Where the fuck did they put it? Oh yeah, like, here's the thing, like, they have specialization things here, like, they just give you free fucking perks. Like, you find tools, like this, like, you have your grappling rod, your parachute, your fishing rod, and your repair tool. You have your specializations, like these let me cook at camps here. This lets me loot extra ammo. This lets me loot extra meats. This one lets me, you know, shoot animals without damaging the meat. This one just gives me my wingsuit. So no, they do just have fucking perks in there, but like I don't want to have to go.
I feel like I never played 5 or its you know, weird semi-sequel spin-off game that they usually do, where they produce a second game with the exact same engine and assets to get more money, basically.
More money.
So I never did that, but I'm wondering, was there some pushback that the Far Cry games were getting too like RPG-esque? Because there was, I don't remember if it was a tree, but there was a perk system in 4 where like as you progressed during certain quest lines, you got points you could spend to like improve your usual shit, like mark more dudes, silently kill more dudes, summon a fucking elephant. Or that may have just been multiplayer. You could summon animals, though. You could, like, throw grenades and, like, an eagle would come and attack guys.
Oh, no, I can do that now. I got fucking, actually, can I do it right now? Hang on. I have big game bait. Check it out, it's me!
Yeah, but that's what I mean, right? Was, like, there was a whole setup for that stuff, and then I don't know if there was some, like, pushback that some people were like, these shooters are becoming too much like RPGs, stop it. And if those people said that, fuck you, you're dumb.
Yeah.
Because this alternative, having to change my look to get different perks, oh, guys, me and Lucky have been doing this for several years. This is like, what's up, like 158, I think, or something? We've been doing this for over 150 episodes. You've been listening to us bullshit about games and anime and books and shit, okay? TV. Y'all know, 1, we love the glow up, but also we love the glow up, so I don't like being tied mechanically to what I'm wearing, like, by my look too much, unless that's just part of the system, right? Like, I hate to find a really nice looking armor and then go, oh well,
I missed.
Great, now I gotta look like shit to get this mechanical thing I want. Like, if it's just like in a fantasy setting, like, you know, I'm playing Dragon Age and it's like, well, okay, the full plate looks dumber than this, but this gives me the effects I want, it's fine. And honestly, like, if the choices don't matter that much, like, for instance, playing Mass Effect recently, you get a little bit of armor customization. It doesn't really matter. I just did this stuff for the build I wanted because it was all the same. It's all sci-fi armor plates with slightly different patterns. Like, the fact that they let you customize your color and pattern irregardless of the style of the armor piece was what mattered to me. So I could do, like, a kind of cool red pattern camo. And then I just stuck all the things that gave me tech power, damage, tech power, cooldown, and more bullets. So, yeah, for some reason, despite it being an advanced sci-fi setting with, you know, thermal clips and stuff, Shepard was covered in ammo pouches. Because, I don't know, it was the 2000s, okay? That's when we made those games. So, like, yeah, there's cutoffs for this, but in this game system where very clearly they're going out of their way to show you what your character is wearing, to occasionally show your character in cutscenes, and that I'm just like, okay, that's a little, like, tedious and annoying that I have to, like, decide how I look based on what gameplay style I want, you know? And there's just your friendly neighborhood fellow gorilla with an RPG, killing dudes in the street. Perfectly normal, perfectly fine. Man, they're going ham.
Yeah, well, there's dudes out here.
Is this like a mission thing, or is this just an open world thing?
No, this is just an open world thing.
Okay.
Like I said, this game.
That is a thing I know that happens a lot in Far Cry, and I'm glad we're still on point. But that's always just kind of funny when you're minding your own business and suddenly the two factions are fighting in the street, and you're like, well,
It's okay. The only problem is when dudes just randomly spawn in on you.
that is the thing I noticed when you were streaming last week, that there seemed to be some issues of, oh no, most of the enemies are dead. Here's some more enemies.
And I'm just like, but why though? Why you do this? Stop it. Get help.
Like if it was like a timed thing, or like, and who knows, maybe it is, and I don't know the game very well. Maybe it's like, you know, if you like trigger an alarm and the alarm system keeps sounding, more guys keep showing up. Turn it off, you fool.
No.
Some games are like that, but if it's not like that everywhere, because I presume it can't be like that everywhere, yeah, that's a little bit of a cop-out. You know? So, all in all, it sounds like the game is fun. It has a tight core
Excuse you, I
gameplay.
was gonna drive that. Oh, there's an airstrike coming. Did it already land?
Enemy airstrike inbound.
Yeah, one of the things you can do is you can steal convoys and get them, turn them in for materials. But as you saw, one of my fellow just fucking RPG'd it. So I was like,
Yeah. I mean, that guy had an RPG. What do you expect?
Guess I'll just get in my car.
But yeah, so it, like I said, sounds like core gameplay stuff, very tight. Not a lot of broadness out of there, and some of the like ancillary gameplay stuff seems like it's a little tedious because they, I don't know, didn't want to be so RPG-esque or something.
Like honestly, I really enjoy actually the RPG aspect. Like that's why I kind of like.
I mean, listen, guys. As a game, Borderlands blew the shooter market the fuck open. With by really mainstreaming and codifying the RPG shooter. And those games are just good. To the point where they're literally making a literal like fantasy RPG shooter. Where like you have guns, but also you can be a like 7-foot tall Amazon woman with an axe.
Okay, I wasn't interested, but now I am more interested.
Yeah, that's the Berserker. You get to be a giant warrior lady with an axe. In addition to shooting people, you can also just fucking... I think the key ability they showed off in the trailer was you have a leap attack, so you just do the classic jump across the screen and smash move.
That's great. That's great.
You can also do a spin attack, apparently, which all does like cold damage, and I'm like, neat. Probably won't play that class myself, but... Yeah, so you were going to say something about Borderlands, though, I think.
Yeah, no, like I was gonna say, like I enjoy Borderlands mechanics. It's just the more I thought about it, the more kind of I realized I don't like Borderlands story because it seems Borderlands story is really weird.
So the first one was like, honestly, minimalist story, right?
Yeah.
Like you got your weird messages from the angel. There was like zero characterization for the 4 heroes, other than their funny haha lines when they shoot guys in the face, which was perfect. There was a lot of like NPC bants that was pretty good, but it was a little low key. Then I think, Lucky, it might be fair to say that in 2, Borderlands stole something from Far Cry, where they decided to have this like really charismatic guy yell at you for the whole game. Which I don't mind as a character thing, but that's when we started doing stuff I don't like, which is we start murdering the previous cast of characters in the game for cheap hits. Which that's, you know, we talked at length about the fridging. I don't like cheap heat. Nobody should like cheap heat. Don't do that, game designers. But the storytelling, I think, got weirder from there. I still haven't even beaten Borderlands 3, you know? Like, it's okay. The gameplay's all right.
Like, I played the pre-sequel, but it's like it didn't do anything new. Like,
I mean, the character class design, especially when I got the Handsome Jack collection, so it had, like, all the DLC characters and stuff, too. Which is the thing they started doing in Borderlands 2 that's slightly annoying, even though I really like... Gage was pretty fun to play in 2. And I think for pre-sequel, I played Harrington's sister, the Duchess, with, like, her crystalline shooting man abilities. That was fun. But, yeah, no, like, the storytelling got a little loosier-goosier, and then, I mean... It's a little weird. I have weird feelings about 3 because I feel like Borderlands is taking shot at parasocial relationships and content creation, and I run a content creation channel on YouTube. So I'm like, okay, I get what you're going for because, yeah, there are, like, cult of personality assholes who are just, like, popular for no reason. And just, like, they're just kind of douchey. But also, like, boy, this is a weird shot to take, Borderlands. Meme lords. Where so much of your dialogue writing in 2 on was just you handed Ashley Birch a microphone and said, go nuts. Nothing against Ashley Birch, by the way. She's, like, cameoed on, like, Critical Role and stuff. I've seen her in other roles. She seems cool. I think she was on some of Will Wheaton's tabletop show before that got caught up in weird licensing stuff. Like, she seems all right. It's Tiny Tina's voice actress. But, like, you can tell the dialogue writing is just, I don't know, say memes. Say something funny. What does the internet find funny? You know? And I feel like maybe we're growing out of it. Maybe we're old men, Lucky. We're too old for this weird humor thing.
Well, I don't think we're too old for weird humor, but we just have different values in our humor. Like we're outside potty humor, I think is the best way to say it. Like,
yeah, I like you know, the toilet humor is a literal lowest common denominator because every culture on Earth gets that one.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, you could do better. You've had time to practice.
Yeah.
They got what do stand-up comics call it? Their tight 5. You know, their tight 5-minute stand-up routine. Like you have time to practice your jokes.
Hey, anyone here?
And I mean, I still think they did pretty funny stuff. Like, I always thought the like in 2, the funny playing around with like the vibration function when you get Moxie's bad touch and Moxie's good touch guns.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, oh, this is my favorite. Why is it your favorite, Mox? In your hand. I wonder. Anyway.
No, like, honestly, if I have to say, I actually do have a favorite Borderlands game, but it's not one of the numbered series. It's Tales from the Borderland, you know, the Telltale series.
Yeah, by a completely different studio doing their own thing.
Mm.
I still haven't gotten around to playing it, but I bought it, the full collection on disc. I'll probably do that sometime.
So, but no, like...
I mean, if that's I don't... I don't know if that's true, X, but if it is, that is also very petty. If some digs in 3 are Randy Pitchford doesn't like that the internet calls him dumb sometimes. Well, you shouldn't be on the internet so much, Randy.
Fuck that thing.
The internet has called me dumb before, and I'm nobody. Also, Randy Pitchford, when you bang on Kevin Hart's door at the studio set for your dumb video about the Borderlands movie that's going to be awful and is probably poorly casted, we can maybe use that as a segue for them too. You don't get to say anything, Randy Pitchford.
Wait, did I kill the person I was trying to save?
I don't know. Like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, like it looks like they're doing the weird gun fantasy thing. This is a conversation we've been having off and on in several different ropes about like shaking up like tropes and cliches of certain genres, right?
Right.
And like branching out, like the idea of like, so it's a fantasy like setting, like it's clearly evoking Tina's D&D game but with guns again. But like that's just the whole thing. That's just all it is. We don't care. Like there's magic and there's swords and stuff, but also there's guns because that's our fucking engine and brand. So if you don't like it, don't buy it, you know? And I'm like, okay, I understand this. This is good.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You know, and I've talked a lot about how there's a lot of interesting interplay of like science fiction and fantasy because classic sci-fi isn't as clearly defined as fantasy is. Fantasy, like high fantasy as people call it, has a like cookie cutter formula, which is, hello, I watched the Lord of the Rings movies and I read a D&D source book once. That's your fantasy like uber trope. And if you're in Japan, it would also be, you would add, and I played a Dragon Quest. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why people are probably, basically, a lot of traditional high fantasy is kind of looked down upon. Like, people joke about fantasy heartbreakers and doorstoppers and stuff like that, and kind of like this, you know, swords and sorcery thing is like looked at with a dollop of irony. And a lot of people who explore those genres usually do their own interesting takes on it. And I think another thing comes from the other thing that fantasy is drawn from is it's harkens to classic folklore and mythology,
Mhm.
which is so the concept of the transition from religion, I should say, to mythology means that a lot of cultural context is lost. So a lot of people read a lot of old cultures, myths, and be like, aha, that's wacky. You thought Thunderbolts was Thor throwing a hissy fit. That's cute. That's fake, though. That's for baby stuff. Like, that's our, super atheist, ultra postmodern, cynical worldview coming in. And also, some fairy stories are literally for children. They're supposed to be teaching you. Now, I say they're literally for children. That doesn't mean that you necessarily think they're for kids, because as we have talked about before, especially on Let's Talk FGO, some fairy stories are fucking horrifying.
Yeah, they are.
But that's what they were. They were supposed to be cautionary tales for, teaching kids and young adults and stuff, proper values and caution. Basically scare them straight, which means that tactic is very old.
Yeah. Fear has always been a great motivator. Heck.
But this definitely leads that there. I think there's a lot of interesting things occasionally happening when people kind of like I said, take these things in different directions. The original classic fantasy subversion was the dark fantasy, where it has all the fantasy trappings, but everybody's miserable, everything's covered in shit, and everybody dies all the time. Thank you, George R.R. Martin. Yes, I know Song of Ice and Fire is more complex than that, but Martin definitely popularized the quote-unquote dark, gritty, realist fantasy, where there's swords and occasionally magic and zombos and stuff, but also, no, it's so sad. Oh, this guy's, he's cool and honorable. Well, he dies, because that's, fuck you. All right, thanks, buddies. That's really uplifting and a cool story to read. It's basically like a slasher movie, but for really, really long and drawn-out books that you could murder many burglars with. Seriously, we own some Song of Ice and Fire. They're fucking huge.
Do I want to go do this?
So that itself has become cliche, right?
Mm-hmm.
In some senses, the jaded, dark, gritty fantasy has become trite. And if it is not trite, it is usually minimalist. Think about Dark Souls. It's a dark fantasy setting. It's very minimalist. The lore is usually presented to you in hints of dialogue, item descriptions, appearances of buildings and visual cues, and it's all very subtle storytelling. So you know that shit is dark and fucked up because of the things you fight, but it doesn't. I feel almost like Dark Souls doesn't necessarily wallow in how dark and gritty itself is, right?
Right.
It knows, hey, shit's fucked up and dark, and also this game is hard, but that's our key point is your personal struggle with the game, not us wanking about how dark and gritty we are. Look how sophisticated we are. We don't believe in fairy stories. Now they're and now you must fight an enormous fuck you dragon. But he's blind and creepy. Damn, dude. Choir going nuts.
I love this jank ass junk helicopter, by the way. It's just two propellers and fucking.
Oh my god, I love it.
I know, it's so great. It has no guns.
Oh.
You can get helicopters with a gun, but no, when I just need to get to places, nah. Just this dude, this. I don't even know. It's
so this gorilla scav punk aesthetic is great, by the way. That's cool.
I kind of like it and I kind of don't.
It's almost post-apocalyptic in a way without actually being post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, no, it's because a lot of your armor definitely reflects this, but it's all everything is you just kind of grab things and put them together. You mean look at this fucking gas mask. It's a gallon jug cut out with holes that have a couple smaller jugs cut in for the air holes. I'm that's ghetto as fuck. I'm not necessarily about that, but I respect the game.
Yeah.
This fucking street.
And also somebody spray painted a skull on it for some reason.
Yeah. This the street surgeon helmet is literally a baseball cap with a fucking cross painted on it. Parkour cap. It's all this, and sometimes I'm for it. Sometimes, but sometimes I'm man, I wish sometimes I just want to be a little bit more stylish than that. And of course, if you want, you can just wear a fucking gator head. Why the fuck not? Yeah, here we go. But again, And it's like the Supremos. I don't know how to. I don't know. I don't think I really like the Supremos that much. I really don't use them that much.
Oh, the big showy backpack things they made a big deal out of.
Yeah, no, because here's the thing: they each get an ability. But me, I'm a stealthy player. I like doing stealth things. Most of them are not stealth things. Let's see. This one fires rockets. This one fires poison gas. This one does an EMP pulse, which disables everything. But it's the stealth one. This one emits a firing. Oh, this one actually gives you this one's weird because it gives you an extra ability. I landed a bit hard there. I'm sorry. Like when you push X again, you do a little jump forward. Everyone in fucking co-op does this, and they just do this constantly while I'm running behind them while the ground's on fucking fire. Thanks, guys.
Oh, is this like a little speed run trick?
Yeah.
Get places fast.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. This one's all right. This one's okay. It basically lets you self-revive. I'm like, that's good. It's good to stay alive. This one is a boost your speed and health and lets you unleash your mechanic kills. I'm just like, okay, so most of these I want to use when I'm in big fucking combat. The only one that isn't really like super abyss is this one, which is True Sight. Lets you mark enemies and cover and lets you shoot through walls. The only problem is with that is that the gun that you have to use with it is not silenced. So I'm just like, all right, guys, you are kind of trivializing my modus operandi here with these.
Yeah, it once again, it feels like they've prepped so that you can survive big dust ups with all these dudes, but it's like, okay, but what if I just don't want to get in a big dust up? What if I just want to silently stab everybody with my machete and go home?
Yeah.
Which is a slight shame, because that is usually how I like to play these games. Obviously, inevitably, you fuck it up and get caught. But until then, you usually can be pretty sneaky and effective. And it's always very rewarding when you take down like a stronghold or clear back in the older games, a tower, stuff like that, without anybody noticing or fucking with you. That feels good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna enjoy my gliding. Like, I kind of wish that they had presets. So instead of having to go switch every single fucking button, I can go just push like a preset and equip stuff. Because they do kind of do it. Like, you can go here, it says equip set. It'll equip everything in that fucking set. But here's the thing, I don't want everything in this fucking set. Like, the chest gear, the leg gear, and the foot gear.
you can collate your sets, but you can't really... That sounds like you should use you should have a preset function.
Like this one, the chest for this improves hold breath duration, which is great, but I don't use it that much. Do you know how much fucking sway I don't have? I don't need to hold my breath with this gun. It's fine. It's fucking fine.
Yeah, that's probably for if you had... Oh, they've got to have a giant, like, fuck-off vehicle-killing sniper rifle in this game somewhere, don't they?
I don't know if it's vehicle-killing, but you do got a Barrett. They don't call it the Barrett, but it's a fucking Barrett.
I mean, it should be vehicle-killing. That's what those bullets are for, engine blocks.
Yeah.
But that probably is, like, big recoil, big scope sway kind of stuff, because those guns are fucking heavy.
Yeah, but like I said, like I have futzed around with the mods enough that just my ye old hunting rifle will just end most dudes. And if I need to deal with a fucking vehicle problem, I pull out a grenade launcher.
Yeah, you just cease being stealthy.
Yes, and so like, actually, I probably could. Like, I don't necessarily think I could take it out stealthily, but one of the things they have, here's a problem. Another problem I have is you have gadgets. You can get things like C4 and claymores and stuff, and proximity mines. You might be able to do some stealthy plays with that, but fun fact, a lot of the times when you're taking a base and there's a vehicle, the dude who usually gets in the vehicle is standing outside of it, which, one single bullet will take care of that problem.
Yeah, so that at least I appreciate, right? They don't mandate you take care of vehicles stealthily, but also,
That does mean that there are vehicles. This is something I do give AI the props for. If there is a vehicle nearby that has a gun on it, they will jump into it. I'm like, no, that's annoying, but it makes fucking sense.
Yeah. It does seem like enemies are, like, fairly decently reactive to what you do.
Sometimes.
Like, without being unfair.
Like, if I
This pickup truck?
Yep. I just need to get here. I just need to borrow it for a second. Oh, you clipped my tail. Like, if you've noticed, when I shoot someone in the head, there's a definite moment of them going, what the fuck just happened? Before they can react, and by that time I can usually get another one. So, they're not the best. Actually, where am I going?
By the way, speaking of self-revives and also to bring it back to genre mashups, that's the thing I actually liked about Destiny was Bungie wanted to write a fantasy game lore, but then they were like, fuck, this is too different than what we've been working on because we've been making Halo for like 10 years. Let's just make it a sci-fi shooter, but treat it like a fantasy game. And some people find that weird. I think those people are cowards because Destiny is great.
I don't think Destiny is...
Space gods, darkness and shit. Like, I mean, like, I think just how fucking hard commit they go with the lore is great.
Well, okay, I think the lore is okay. I'm not a fan of the gameplay necessarily, or some of the mechanics, I guess I should say.
I like it, but I'm a big fan of Bungie stuff, so... Very nice, tight gameplay stuff.
Careful.
Gunplay.
All right, I got like just 4 dudes.
My problems with Destiny are entirely based on their old school MMO mentality about raids. And I'm just like, okay, there's content I'm never doing. Thanks for wasting my time by putting those in the game for me. And they're like, we didn't put it in for you. I'm like, okay, but then still, what's all this extra hour shit? Like,
Armor-piercing railings lets me go through multiple windows and still kill a dude. I love it.
Yeah, it's nice. I get why, by the way, Bungie is like, no, the raids are supposed to be like old school MMO raids. Never played those. I don't care. I don't want to have 6 friends who know what the fuck they're doing on a Saturday night to get my end game content. That requires having 6 friends who are free or whatever and know what the fuck they're doing, or don't know what the fuck they're doing and you guys die a lot trying it over and over again. So I mean, yeah, I at least appreciate that they for later stuff, and especially 2, you can do most things matchmaking, just not raids, because they're like, nah. And I'm like, okay, guess I'll never do those. Seems like they got some cool story in there, but I can't fuck around them alone, and I'm not going to dig up that many people to do them.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a new expansion coming out. I'm hoping they do like a big bundle. I haven't played any of the expansions for Destiny 2. The game itself was fairly all right, like base game, but I'm very interested to see what they did with expansions, because that was another thing where like the OG Destiny story, like main story quests, were dumb. It was very bare bones because they literally rewrote their main story through line like 6 months before the game came out, because they just didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and the main writer like was like, "Fuck, I don't know anymore, man. I'm gonna leave. I'm gone." And so they had to like cobble it together. The expansions for the original Destiny got a lot tighter and actually gave you like serious story content and cutscenes and like explored stuff. Also, I'm a sucker for planetary romance, which is otherwise a dead genre because it doesn't make any sense in most settings for like, you know, oh, Venus is a jungle, Mars is a desert, but in not like an airless hellhole way.
Shit.
So I also just really like Destiny's set pieces.
Right,
like that was always super cool to me.
Deploying parachute. Get my scan in. Who's here? Don't see a lot of people.
But yeah, so talking a lot about the Far Cry. Let's see. We got a couple places we can from there. I made a joke about Hollywood casting, so we could talk about that subject, which is hot in the news these days. Or we could talk about other games we've played and or watched, which is I am complete on Kina now. Not like 100% completion, but you know what I mean.
This boat dude just came out of fucking nowhere. Thanks, Cat. But like, this is what I mean. Like, that boat over here was nowhere in fucking sight when I came in here. I land here, it's like, surprise, boat dude. You guys are dead. Just stay dead. Assholes.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I'm seeing you like kill the boat guys now. I'm like, how would you even see way the fuck over there? There's a boat guy there, and like obviously, well, you don't have line of sight, but why? Why is he here?
All right, this thing.
Also, interestingly, there's a lot of crates of depleted uranium in this game. I'm now realizing since you have found several.
Well, yeah, apparently they're all at, there's a uranium mine around here somewhere, and, for some odd reason, we fucking put them all at fucking, at anti-aircraft sites. Why? I don't fucking know.
So there's this isolated island nation in the Caribbean mines uranium, and Uncle Sam or Big Ruski or China is not like glued to our backside.
Oh no,
I don't know about that.
Oh, we totally are. There's this fucking Yankee, spelled like that, named McKay, who's really up in our business.
Interesting. Okay.
So no, there definitely is there. It's just I don't think we've necessarily
Corporate asshole.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I'm talking about like big government. Like that is one of the things we usually pay attention to. Is like, hey, is anybody mining and refining uranium around here? And like, that's the thing where this is set in the Caribbean, right? That's right the fuck next to America, and we kind of do this thing about naval power projection.
Just another boatload of dudes just showed up literally behind the first one.
I mean, I'm guessing that's like a scripted patrol thing, but like that's dumb. But like literally, those guys are like dick to ass in those boats, and they're like, "Oh no, Juan Carlo in this front boat in our Zodiac is dead. Whatever could we?" Blah, blah. And then the third guy's coming along, and then gonna be like, "No, Marco and Polo, they are dead in our Zodiac. Whatever will we?" Blah, blah.
Need some wheels.
Come on, guys. You can program the game a little tighter than that. Or don't, because they want you to have constantly spawning
Gracias.
dudes in boats. But okay, let's talk about another game that was okay but not perfect. Let's talk about Kino.
Oh, okay.
Which I would have to say, like, if you want my top level thoughts, having beaten all of the core story content on stream and stuff like that, and played a little bit of my off time to do some farming, I would definitely give this game probably a solid 6 or 7 out of 10, which is actually meaningful. This is no 4-point scale. Like, this game is solidly above average, good C+ effort, maybe even a B. It's fairly all right. Especially when you take into account this is this studio's first project of this caliber, this style. So overall, the game is enjoyable, but I think it has some limitations and some lack of polish in a couple of areas. As I believe some reviewers and other people on the internet have noted, the main story is very bare bones. You are Kina. You are a spirit guide. You're going on a spirit journey. For your own reasons, you discover a town literally full of ghosts. Everybody is dead, Dave. Nobody ever really angst about this because that's not how this works. And then you solve ghost problems for 9 hours. Or 15 hours, however long it took us. Somebody can tabulate all 5 videos. So, and yes, there's a little bit of towards the end, there's a little bit of, I don't want to call it ham-fisted, but there's a little bit of late game really gonna hammer home oh no, our character does have depth and tragedy and stuff. What the fuck was up with her weird spirit veins? Still don't know. That wasn't covered. Don't know why there is that weird focus on her blue veins.
What's up with her dad? Dad just gone?
Yeah, I think he's just dead, and Kina didn't get over it because she didn't get to talk to his ghost or something. I think. Yeah, there is decent resolution for our side characters because that's the literal mechanics, right? Is playing ghost therapist. You are a what a spirit guide does. This game taught me is you are 33% ghost detective, 33% ghost therapist, 33% free running and stick fight enthusiast. 33% ghost puncher. Basically, all your solutions are: do you need to figure out what's up with a ghost, and then do you give them therapy or do you thump them? And sometimes you thump them to give them therapy. Anyway, so okay, plot stuff. It's not super important, but it's also not super clear. I mentioned this to Lucky because he missed it, but there was one of the ghosts we helped, the woodworker, was also a fucking artificer alchemist lady who was mining the glowing spirit rocks out of the mountain, and she used them to build a giant bull golem or ox golem to plow her fields metaphorically. No commentary on what her what her obviously lesbian girlfriend, even though we don't say it that way, was doing with the fields. They were very attached, and they went to the super spirit life together after we solved everything.
Yay.
So like I said, the story's a little bare bones. The setting's a little like sketchy about how and why this works. But you don't care. You're here to play, a platformy explory game. A classic action adventure game, as we like to say. So on that front, does it accomplish that? Yeah, it accomplishes that. I think it accomplishes it in a little bit of a deliberate retro style that is both a boon and a curse. Like, yeah, if you've been hurting for like old school platforming action adventure vibes, this game is very much that. You play, Jack and Daxter, Attack and the Power of Juju, old school Ratchet and Clank, stuff like that. You play those games? This game is like that. You can double jump. You can do a lot of stuff. It has some interesting things with the mechanics. Like it has a, classic sprint button, which I don't think was very common for these types of games for a while. Lucky and I both agree that the dash action is given to you way too fucking late in this game. Because the dash is actually pretty cool. It's tied to your pulse/barrier move, but it lets you go fast, and also you become a ghost when you do it, so you have iframes. It is the only ability in the game where you get iframes. Even when you get thumped, you don't technically get iframes. You just usually get slapped out of the way and roll on the ground. But you can absolutely get double tagged in like a combo. That's why combo attacks by bosses were always murder.
Death.
And it is literally the last ability you get, and you have no way. You don't get any upgrades. You just buy more guard meter, I guess. Parrying was also a little weird. They never told us what the parry window is. I pulled off so many accidental parries just trying to dash away from bosses. I mean, it saved my ass a couple of times, but still, it was a really weird way. I also think, like I said, there's really good AoE in the game. Like, you can do like a jump smash, you can do like a charge, like you can do like a charge attack on your heavy and do like kind of a spin sweep. I'm just thinking like, the old Jack and Daxter spin kick. Like, I really wanted that at a lot of times. Like, I would love for Keen to be able to do a proper like 360 stick extended and make enemies who are like all around me scoot back a little bit. I don't think that's what they're going for. There was a lot of intense, like, you need to dodge, dash, and block and parry shit. Or jump. I think I started to catch this drift a lot in later games, later streams and bosses. But quite frankly, a lot of enemies want you to jump to evade, which is, I guess, not weird for a platformer, but I always thought for a game with a built-in dodge button was a little weird. Like, there were a lot of attacks that you could not dodge roll very well, but the game was like, no, jump over it. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll jump, I guess. I'll get used to it. Like, honestly, the game's not that hard. I do find it kind of interesting that their quote-unquote easy mode does something that I think Lucky and I both said at some point should probably be default, which is your wrought actions charge automatically, in addition to when you hit enemies, and that's basically all it does. I think it might make enemies weaker. It does have a, it's the mastered mode difficulties unlocked if you beat the game, so it has the hard as balls difficulty for New Game Plus if you're into that. Or not even New Game, I think just New Game. Carry anything over. So if you, like, really want to challenge yourself, it's got that. I don't think I'm going to do that because while the game I don't think was hard, it was frustrating at a couple of points. Like, the jumping is a little, like, imprecise and classic. Like, you can only grab the ledges they want you to grab, and everything else you just kind of slip and slide out of the way of, a very old-school problem. So it's all right. I think there were a few shortcomings. I'm very interested to see, though, what this studio does next. I would love a sequel or a second game in a similar engine, because I think they could improve and really refine this, because there's a lot of really good and interesting things about this game. We talked about this at length on stream, but the, like, physics and hitboxes of every character were very tight. Like, I think I talked about it, like, almost everything was pixel perfect, where, like, if you physically dodge rolled under a guy and he doesn't actually hit your body, even though it sure looks like he did, like his attack literally passes over your head, it doesn't hit you. Hell, I accidentally dodged some attacks by standing still in the right spot, and then the enemy just went high over me. Because, Keena's like a teenage girl or something. Which is very unusual for these types of games,
Yeah.
Like, these were old school games on like, PS2 era this is calling back to. So those were a little loosey-goosey. Sometimes though this precision is a downside. I think Lucky locked in that precision word in stream 4 or 5. And it was definitely a little fucky. Like if you wanted to aim with the arrow attack and do the ranged attack and hit a guy, you had to be spot on. And I had to crank the for those last couple streams, I cranked the sensitivity like fairly way up to get the smoothness I wanted for some of the aiming, because it is very precise, and at its default like camera sensitivity, it does not feel that precise. Like you feel a little sluggish aiming the game. And obviously, I don't know if Lucky has any commentaries about how sluggish it felt, because when he played, it was on my machine, so it had input lag.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do much about that.
Yeah. So I don't know how much aiming you did with ranged attacks anyway.
I tried, but I was not successful.
Yes.
Somebody hit my cat.
Nope. Rip. I do want to say I heard several people praise the boss design. There are quite a lot of boss fights in this game, and most of them are pretty varied. Like they have different strategies and patterns, but also I feel like sometimes I felt like this was almost a detriment. Like I was talking about this off mic with people. I was talking about this while we were doing just deck testing and practice for progression after the final Kina stream. I was like, I feel like what they wanted me to do with bosses was not my moves, obviously. Like, don't forget your basic commands. Well, that was easy. Tap, tap. Fine.
Ghost cat.
You're a ghost. But like, I felt like every single boss, they wanted me to unlearn what I had learned, right? And, like, try to treat every boss as a fresh new encounter. Which, obviously, that can be interesting, but also, for the way most video games are, that's kind of hard to, like, not put your expectations from previous encounters on the new encounter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of games usually, like, build on patterns and stuff. A lot of enemies in Kina don't really build on themselves, other than when you fight them again as, like, mid-bosses or whatever.
Nope.
Like, most boss encounters are fairly unique, and they do fairly unique things, and I feel like I spent a decent number of several boss fights just flailing around for the first couple tries, because they were completely different from previous fights, and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing with this boss until I was like, okay, he does this then, and that then, and the other thing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It was a little frustrating for some fights, but I kind of feel like the developers weren't, like, being mean about it. I mean, sometimes I may or may not have. I may have. You'll have to go back and check if I ever felt like the developers were, like, being up their own ass about anything on stream in the moment. But like, in hindsight, I don't think they were. What was that, Lucky?
Oh no, you definitely were. You get mad playing games, my dude.
I think it's just, well, one, I'm obviously splitting attention. It's the classic Game Grumps problem, right? You're playing on stream to people, and you're like, well, I don't want to be looking like an asshole right now. So you get a little heated. You're playing a little loosey-goosey. You're not concentrating as hard. Like, for a lot of fights in the finale, I just got dead silent. But usually for me, it passes. Like, I don't want to keep the anger and frustration inside, so I let it out and I'm over it. But in general, I don't think there was, in the overall game design, there was really any malice. It was just, they were just like, no, you can just try it again. It doesn't matter if you die. The load times are instant. You just reset and do it again. And for the most part, that was okay. The final boss, if you haven't watched it on stream, slight spoilers, but that's a multi-stage scenario where you start with the classic, oh no, you've lost all your powers. Including the power to heal, because that's a rot action for some ungodly reason. Presumably to make the game harder at higher difficulties when you can actually lose courage when you get hit. Mm-hmm. In master difficulty. You must be even more get good. But that's a multi-stage boss fight where for the first stage, you can't even heal. You just have to get good at the patterns and don't take any damage, and then you have to fight a Mook Gauntlet while also you can't heal. And then you only get one rod action, and you have to do it all over again. I also, like, I'm still not super enthused with how they use the HP bar in, like, thirds when, like, the last thing was purely narrative, basically. Like, it was all timing-based. I think, though, they just didn't kind of want to telegraph that that's how it was. Because that does checkpoint for the last bit, which is just platforming, and then try not to die while you do the scripted bits. It's fine. but definitely there was a arguably very old school, just like, no lives, no continues, just do the thing over and over again. Like, and that I think is a slightly more advanced technique. Like, that's past like a lot of like PS1 era games.
Oh, it did crack.
You know, like, there's a fairly decent number of like Mario games where you still have lives that you have to like take care of for some reason. Otherwise, you like reset to a previous point or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe there was a life limit on Crash Bandicoot back in the day, stuff like that. But there's none of that in Kena. It's just 5-second loading screen, snap, you're back to it. So I genuinely think that was all intentional by the developers to just not necessarily be like a softball, but just to be like, just take as many tries as you need. Sometimes that felt a little patty. I think that third act of the game was a little padded out.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think we really ever needed that fucking gauntlet of enemies.
Yeah.
Because the no healing thing was, well, not even just no healing, just here's all these actions that you used to have, and they're gone. Why? Because fuck you.
Because we're doing like it's a dramatic third arc thing. You've lost your powers, but also those are kind of important mechanically. Like, literally, they have the heals in the arena, and you can't use them because you don't hit rod actions in that first bit. And I'm like, okay, all right, guys.
And by the time you can use them, it's not really that important.
No, by the time you get your full, like, max 4 rod actions back, it really doesn't matter. Like I said, the third phase is completely scripted. And it checkpoints you at the platforming bit. Which, admittedly, like, that I think was neat. There were a couple times where instead of a fight, you did platforming. And you had to, like, practice your arts of, like, levitating platforms, fast roping to flowers kind of a stuff. And that last bit really kind of, like, got there. Yeah, final boss, Wood Knight. I fought a lot of Wood Knights in that game. I think most of them were harder as mini-bosses than he was as a boss. I also feel like, talking about, like, padding, I feel like at times Kena felt unnecessarily weak. Like, even for some basic mooks, you have to do, like, 2 full light hit combos, which is, like, 4 and 4 button presses to actually kill them. I'm just like, okay, guys, there's really no need for that. Like, it's not hard to do, and when you hit an enemy, they usually get hit stunned for you, so it's not like they're going to beat you up. I don't know why we felt like dragging this out a little bit, Now, bosses have different levels of damage reduction. Like, I noted that when we got to the third act, basically. Like, the corrupt woodworker, she was all, like, made of stone and stuff and had her, like, power enhancement and things. Like, in her first phase especially, like, she was literally invincible in some points, but she had a lot of damage reduction. Like, I wailed on her a lot. Once we got to, like, that third act bosses, like, the Mask Maker and even the Warrior were super fragile. Like, I defeated the Warrior in, like, 1 shot. I even finished him technically off stream because I was halfway through doing it before OBS decided to throw a fit. And I was just like, well, I'll just see if he has, like, a second phase and does anything cool so I can be prepped. And oh, no, I'm done. He didn't really do anything different. Now, that fight was still super cool and cinematic, but, like, it was shockingly simplistic for a very late-game boss.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the Hunter, who was a fucker. Like, that was a completely unique boss fight that was really weird for me to wrap my mind around, like, because it's like they want you to shoot at her, but you don't want to pre-aim. Like, the boss, like, has magical crosshair senses and will dodge your crosshair if you start to actually aim at them. You can have your bow drawn. You don't want to do that because you're slow then and you're gonna get shot. But, like, if you point the crosshair at them, they're like, what? Nope, get wiggly. So you got to get, like, really good at snapshotting or memorizing the patterns to know when you can take that aimed shot. And I did probably some pretty primo snapshots in there a couple of times. Not super intentional, but I got there, and I won because like I said, I did a surprise parry out of a dash. Dashing OP. But, like I said, some of these bosses were, like, really unique. Others were not so much. And some of them were unique in ways that weren't very interesting. I actually think the final boss wasn't really that interesting.
Mhm.
You know, he just was covered in giant glowing fuck me lights, and you dodge his big sweepy attacks. That's it. That's all you do. You dash around his side, you shoot the lights, you beat enough HP, you go into the zone and collect the stuff, and your action's back.
Mhm.
It's a storytelling thing. The real like final exam boss was Toshi. Like that was a complex boss with multiple phases who like took you to the highest level of like, okay, you need to know when to jump, when to dodge, when to dash,
Mhm.
when to hit this guy. You need to get good at like precision shooting to interrupt his attacks, kind of a thing. So yeah, like, and honestly, once I got in the groove of that boss, that was like a lot of my first couple rounds with him were just like, okay, what all do you do? What am I supposed to do about this? Like ultimately, I think Kina's like both greatest strength and biggest weakness is just the atmosphere.
Mhm.
The game is beautifully animated, like very high res, wonderfully shot. Like all of the cutscenes are shot like cinema. You can tell that these guys used to make animated movies. Like everything has like dramatic punch zooms, dramatic zoom outs, lots of really good lighting. Cutting back and forth to characters. Has a very distinct soundtrack that is way too loud, but is really cool.
Mhm.
Inspired by traditional Indonesian Balinese music. There's a lot of little details in the backdrop and stuff. Sometimes your field of view is a little fucky. But also to preserve this atmosphere, the game has a very minimalist HUD. The game is very minimalist. There's no like floating objective icons. You can kind of go into mask mode to like look where your objectives are, but you have to sit still for that for some ungodly reason. As opposed to like, I don't know, like if I just held up on the D-pad, I went into spirit vision mode. That would be handy if I could still walk around.
Mhm.
And so like this means that like it becomes clear eventually a lot of like boss attacks and stuff like that want very specific responses. Like you want to jump over this attack, you want to not jump over this, like you want to duck or guard this attack thing.
Thank you.
The only way you can find that out is trial and error, basically. Like there are some audio cues to let you remind you that bosses are doing things, but if you are not looking at a boss and you have not seen them do a technique, you don't know what the fuck to do about it. Hell, for Toshi, I think the only thing I could do about his combo attack was just see he was going to do it and interrupt him before he got started. Like, just cock block him. And that may have been intentional. That may have been the only out for that strat, other than just, frantically jumping and dodge rolling. Scrambling. Stretching my snap. So, I think that was something we both kind of said was... I think it had gone a little less on the diegesis no HUD kind of a thing. Like maybe there could have been like one of your spirits could have like communicated to you and like helped you telegraph enemy attacks, or like figure out responses. Maybe there could have been like a spidey sense type thing to let you know when to parry an attack, kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Like it's very old school, and there's a lot of trial and error and a lot of just get good scrub kind of a stuff. I don't think it's as intense as like a Dark Souls, right?
Right.
Because it's not really meant to be like a roguelike die over and over again game. It's just like, no, this is an old school game. The HUD is minimalist, the storytelling's minimalist. It's just we built a really beautiful world. We want you to jump and stick in it, and you just figure it out because we don't care. If you die, you just reset, and it's like, okay. On the one hand, I kind of appreciate that hands-offedness, but other times it really personally frustrates me when I can tell you want me to do something specific, but you won't just fucking tell me. And I know that's a personal pet peeve of mine. Like, that's something that in like real life gives me the agita. But it was still pretty fun. Like I said, 7 out of 10. For just like art style, like definitely like 8 or 9. Like, holy shit, it's beautiful. But like parts of it aren't anything to write home about. If you are interested in that retro experience, go ahead and check it out. I believe they're going to have a physical release next month. Digital currently. Stretch my poor spine.
Up the spine.
My bones. Upman's bones. And if you want to see my experience with it, like I said, got the whole stream up. I got everything in a playlist now, so you can watch all of them in order, starting with the oldest. So you don't got to worry about things being out of order. I know that sorry, I was distracted by Twitter for a second. I know that like some people I think the way I was going to say was that YouTube does not necessarily, I feel like, appreciate playlists, but I know some people really live and die on playlists, and I occasionally like to use them. And I guess they're not like completely devoid of features. The PlayStation app for YouTube has added a recent interaction with playlists. Like if you click on a playlist, it like opens a submenu like you're on the browser and like is like, do you want to play all? Do you want to play a specific one? Here's the list, kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, that's neat. But definitely YouTube is like, oh, if nobody uses, if like only 10% of our users use this feature, this is clearly useless. We're gonna turn this off. And I'm like, why the? Because we used to auto add to playlists. That's not a feature because apparently people didn't use it enough. And I say to people, well, one, YouTube, you should not do law of averages with YouTube. There's shitloads of users, some of whom upload videos. They are not necessarily uploading videos in the YouTube uploading video creator environment. Like, if they're not partners, I'm going to be real. If they're not partners and not trying to be partners, don't give a shit about what they do, YouTube. Don't use them as an excuse to, like, take away community subs and auto playlists or whatever, just because you guys want to be lazier. Those people don't count. They're probably not trying to, like, do all this extra effort stuff. But if somebody is trying to gear up to apply to the partner program or is a partner, like they're trying to like grow their channel size and actually do all the YouTube stuff, like I feel like those tools were useful? Question mark? But yeah, so we have to always manually upload our playlists. So please don't be angry if something's not in a playlist correctly. Just let me know it's not in a playlist because it's all manual. I have to do all of that with checking of boxes and stuff. I usually make sure to do that when we upload new videos, but it's not always the case because sometimes I upload stuff late at night, or sometimes YouTube sasses me. I think if you guys actually watched our latest balls, this was actually in the description. I talked about how usually I do a cute description, but YouTube was a real butt to me when I was trying to update the data. My internet was weird, so it was like, okay, I normally write a cute description here, but I'm just not in the mood, and I haven't gone back and fixed it because what would I say? Mm-hmm. You'll figure it out. You watch or you don't watch. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Carlos. Yes, I personally like playlists for the most part, and I also like playlists to be in a certain order usually. So I try to keep up with them, but since it's like I said, it's all manual now. It's a little hard. It's like YouTube doesn't like playlists. But so if you are keen on playlists, I did a keen on playlist. Hey. All right. Well, we've been talking for nearly 2 hours. I think there's one other big boy thing that people are talking about that I think we should talk about because it's relevant to us.
Yeah.
And streaming. Which is that Sony put out a trailer for the live-action Uncharted movie recently. Mm-hmm. And the internet responded various ways. So, Lucky, you have watched the trailer today.
Yes.
I know this because of the YouTube history. I saw the trailer and then I was like, oh, hey, Lucky, watched it. Because I know I didn't watch it again today. I've watched it a couple times, though. So, you watched it today recently. Mm-hmm. What are your first impressions? You're a big Uncharted guy. You saw the trailer. What did you think?
My first impression, I think it's going to be a good movie for those who do not know Uncharted, I think that's the best way I can put it. For someone who plays Uncharted, maybe seen a lot of it, they're probably going to be miffed in various ways. But also, I kind of want to say, I think that their miffness might not be the best well-placed. Because, like I said, I watched it. I saw Tom Holland. I saw Mark Wahlberg. I was like, oh, so Mark Wahlberg being Sully. That's an interesting choice, but that
was my exact same thought. I'm like, I don't hate Mark Wahlberg, but I also feel like it's weird for Sully.
Yeah. Well, but then, like, because people are trying to say it's like, oh, it's supposed to take place before the games. I'm like, no, I'm not going with this mentality. They are clearly pulling, like, because I was looking at it, like, there are clearly pulling, like, set pieces from like
Oh
several
yeah,
of the games.
yeah, no. Some I've heard some people describe it as the trailer makes it look like the movie is clearly Uncharted's greatest hits.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm okay with that, honestly. Like,
yeah.
because here's the thing. I've played all the Uncharted. I know what Uncharted is. I've seen that. I've played that. I've lived that. I don't need to see a movie necessarily just rehashing the exact same things I've done over and over again. I really don't. So if they want to maybe put like a more unique spin on it and do their own kind of story with it and just, you know, be like, and give me some nods to some of the shit I've done, like, I'm perfectly fine with that. That's perfectly fine.
Like, for instance, the trailer clearly shows us they're doing the cargo plane thing.
They're carrying the cargo plane. Like, they showed a scene from the show before. They have like some it doesn't look like they have like an Eleanor, but it looks like someone might be like pulling in the Chloe role, or even
yes, we've got a very Chloe looking woman. There's a possible Nadine type role out there. I don't know what the fuck Antonio Banderas is doing, but he's Antonio Banderas. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
I mean, he's probably just being our big villain. It's like,
yeah, he's being whatever villain they decided in the casting room, you know?
Yeah, so it's like, no, like, do I think it's necessarily going to be a great movie? Probably not. But I think like in these times, we've gotten pretty good at doing our video game adaptations. Not the bestest. Not all of them are good, but it's all right. Because here's the thing. This is why I want out of Uncharted.
Yeah, finish your thought.
This is why I want out of Uncharted. I want to have a little bit of mystery. I want to have a lot of cool locations and set pieces, and I want bands. That's what I want. Like that's what Uncharted is to me. Like, all games have fucking, you know, shoot 5 million fucking dudes. But Uncharted had always been about, let's go see cool places, do cool things, learn a bit of history. Like fucking learning about, like, Uncharted games taught you things like fucking, you know, about El Dorado, fucking Francis Drake, hecking John D.
And yeah, that was the thing I was thinking about earlier. Was I watched the trailer. I heard that some people had a little bit of blowback, like because of its like greatest hits design, and I myself thought, nah, this seems fine. That's what you should do with a movie adaptation these days. You should not try and do a beat for beat slow roll recreation of stuff. Like you should not literally do the plot of Uncharted 1, but as a movie, because it won't work because the pacing will be fucked and whatever. So like, what is Uncharted? Okay, so like, there's gameplay stuff. Obviously, there's, you know, shooting and punching and climbing. That's just action scenes. What do we normally do in the game? The thing that Uncharted is really good about and is really about is set pieces, whether that's action set pieces or that's like puzzle set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like I usually enjoy, you know, a little bit of the back and forth with the puzzles, right? Or it's just cool locations you climb, right?
Right.
That's like probably like 75-80% of the game, and the rest is just Nathan Drake bands.
Yeah.
Like, it's just Nathan Drake talks to himself or other people. That's all it is. And I mean, Tom Holland plays Peter Parker in Spider-Man. I think he possesses the power to bands. Okay?
Honestly, have you seen Mark Wahlberg in some of his fucking fucking movies with fuck, what was his name? Guy in Elf.
God, you're also making me Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, yeah. Like fucking like unironically, The Other Guys with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell is one of my favorite fucking movies. It's like,
yeah, I think Marky Mark has comedic chops these days.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's a little, even for a young Sully, it's a little bit weird.
It's a little
bit give him a mustache.
They give him a mustache, but like Mark Wahlberg does kind of have that rugged, weathered look now.
Oh yeah, no, like as young Sully we see in flashbacks in 3. Yeah, that's probably fine. I mean, I don't think he's wearing enough Hawaiian shirts, but whatever.
But you know, like.
And also, guys, I gotta be real. I can't actually call shots at Tom Holland for looking like a baby. He just has baby face. The dude's 25. Yeah. He's like 4 years younger than me.
Yeah, no, and I like when we're talking about bands, it's like fucking Mark Wahlberg rolls up on Tom saying, "Aren't you a little young to be a bartender?" And you know, just fires back, "Aren't you a little old to be going to prom?" I was like, "Ooh, yes, no, this is good."
Yeah, they got that. There's some back and forth with the character who is clearly supposed to be Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Who's this kid?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm a friend of Sully." Sully doesn't have any friends. I know.
I'm one of them.
Yeah. And you know, Antonio Banderas does his, "Hello, I'm Antonio Banderas. I'm very threatened." And I'm like, okay, cool. I appreciate you. And it looks like they're just doing a fusion of all the like backstory and lore stuff. There's like they got like the conspiracy board. They didn't mention Francis Drake directly, but they talked about Magellan circumnavigating the globe, and he puts the ring on. I assume they're going to bring up Francis Drake in that scene as well.
Mm-hmm.
You very clearly they do not retcon Sam. They just acknowledge him. Yeah, Nathan Drake has a brother. He's gone. He's missing. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that is like possibly slightly disappointing about this is the fact that it looks like there is no Elena character in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was some really good bants. But if it is young Nathan Drake, I can kind of see that. Like, in the first one, that is kind of their dynamic where Nate is clearly experienced at this, right?
Yeah.
And like, obviously half of what he says is just bullshit, but like, he's kind of like doing this role of like, hey, lady, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing with the ancient El Dorado gold. No, shit, I don't know what I'm doing. Why are there Nazi zombies? By the way, it also, I mean, unless it's like a big twist at the end, it does look like there's no spookums in this.
I mean, they might.
They seem to, it sounds like the ultimate like payout they're going for is Uncharted 4 style. It's like pirate gold.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I could see how for live action they would want to stray away from the supernatural stuff.
Yeah. Also, like I guess they're not trying to, you know, what's the word? They're trying probably not to you know, set up their own continuity. They're trying not to. That's probably why. But I will say, I saw Nathan's notebook. He just have a lot of girls' names just hanging out in there. So who knows? Maybe something else happens, or maybe the Chloe one is like the first, because they have history.
It's true. That is a thing. Like in 2, it's clearly like, yeah, Chloe and Nate have been hanging out for a while, especially now that he's split up with Elena, and then kind of goes back and forth. I mean, they could have done that, but I don't know if that would have worked. That's the thing. Like, I've heard some people talk about like, is Sam actually going to show up? And somebody said, yeah, he'll show up at the end, and it'll be Nolan North. Which would be very funny, because here's the thing. Nolan North, he's cool. He does the voices. He does some of the mocap. He's a little bit old. He's gray. I think he looks older because he's gray-haired now than, say, Mark Wahlberg does. So he has unfortunately missed the opportunity to play younger Nathan Drake. And they could go for like an old Nate thing. That would be kind of weird for a live-action adaptation. Right? Like,
I think so.
To do kind of like an original content thing not seen in the video games yet.
I don't know, because like I said, at the end of 4, you know, Nate like full on retires. I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah, there's also that. Like, if Naughty Dog wants to do a follow-up game with like they carry the franchise forward and like I guess semi-spoilers, because we didn't do that on stream, but I know how it ends. Where you know, Nate and Elena's daughter gets bit by the treasure hunting bug, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that could be interesting, and I could see like old man Nate like showing up to like bail his kid out of trouble, kind of a thing, right? But I would not necessarily want to fuck up his allegedly happy retirement, which I think is pretty happy because they own a fucking beach house in like Hawaii or something. Finally getting paid after all that time, Nate. Huh? And obviously, a lot of people compared there was an Uncharted fan film with Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake, which is probably a pretty, that's a decent casting call. I feel like for what they're doing, though, I don't, like I said, I can't hold his baby face against him. Like I said, now that I factually know that like Tom Holland's not that much younger than me, despite the fact of how like smooth and baby-like he looks, I'm like, I can't really throw stones. So, yeah, like I said, the Mark Wahlberg thing, like, that's a little weird because visually he doesn't scream Sully to me.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can do the bants, that's really is what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Did you just shoot apart that poster board?
Yes.
Wow. We really are gangsta out here, huh? Not even going to tear down the man. I'm just going to shoot it with bullets, even though that's not how that works. Whatever. Shoot gun, only solution. Shoot gun.
That's the best thing I'm at here.
Yeah. So yeah, I watched the trailer. I know some people seem kind of like critical. I think the cast, like visually, the casting and the way the trailer is revealed to us is a little like, huh. And some people obviously are gonna be like, whoa, that's wrong, and other people are just gonna be like, huh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Like I
definitely
said,
gonna be in the
I'm a little-
okay.
like I said, a little weirded out. Not necessarily against it, but it's a little weird. You know, I'll probably get over it in the movie. You know, like I feel like the movie clearly. Actually, this is what I was gonna say earlier, but I didn't want to flow. You can tell that the people who are filming this Uncharted movie have seen an Uncharted game because they are in fact aping some of the set pieces. So you know that they at least know what they're basing this on. That has not always been true of some video game adaptations. I have thoughts and feelings if the people who made the Super Mario Brothers movie ever played Super Mario Brothers. Then again, if they actually played like classic Mario Bros. Plumbers, that's not really that different. Some of the old stuff is weird. So I think they're going in probably the best direction for a film adaptation they can.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not against the greatest hits. We'll see it. Maybe it might be a little too dense with action set pieces. We don't know. Just so long as there's some banter and there's actually like we do some puzzle solving, that's okay. We'll make up for it.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like we do that. Like there's a shot in the trailer of like they've got like photocopies of the blueprints for like a building they like stick up on the window and stuff. They collage together, you know, stuff like.
Yeah, no, it's like the party scenes and stuff seem to be like pulling from 4 and whatnot, but you know, it's like I think it's gonna be
There's
an
a
alright
big
movie.
dude with a Scottish accent.
And you know,
As
Tom
a
Holland
bruiser.
is just like, what?
Yeah, that was a really good line read when the Scottish guy is like, "Oh, we lad, it's time to give you a proper Scottish welcome," and he's just like, "What?" Keeping in mind that, by the way, Tom Holland is British. If you've never heard him speak outside of Spider-Man, he's quite English. So just his what delivery, and then he says the line when the classic car's about to run him over. He's just like, "Oh crap." Bonk.
Bonkus.
So, and it's an all right trailer. Like I said, I want to see what they actually do. I don't know if I'll love it, but it's at least not like an immediate hard pass, right?
Right.
Which is good. I know some people will hard pass, but you know, whatever. So that's it's interesting. I believe they've pushed it back a little bit, as most things have been. The thing and the stuff.
So that is the things and stuff about the Uncharted movie. Let's say they say what was it, February?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try and see it in theater. Because I do believe they said it was gonna be in theater only.
Yeah, probably to start. Theaters are back. I'll probably have to wait then in the middle of February. I don't even know where we have a movie theater around. You know, I've moved in the past 6 months. We'll probably figure that out if we actually want to go out, or we'll just rent something. I don't know. I'm kind of, speaking of Tom Holland and Sony, did you get just shot, or did you get, like, mined?
Mind.
Ah, I hate when that happens. Mine?
Was not expecting mines.
Bonk. You don't have your
Shoes that let me walk over mines on. No.
yeah, or your hat and safety goggles that let you see mines.
Nope.
And your wrists that let you, your gloves that let you disarm mines. We can poke some fun at this game. I still haven't seen the second Spider-Man movie, and I don't know when or where I'm going to be able to do that, because I think it's all, like, pay to rent. It's not, like, streaming anywhere. And I'm like, okay. Sony, help a brother out. I can probably find a fair price on, like, PlayStation Network if I really want to get into it. I have not been watching a lot of things lately. I have mostly been trying to cram Saber Wars 2, because it's, you know, fairly dense. I have done a little bit of reading. My copy of Death's Kiss, the second Daidoji Shin mystery came. I have read the first couple of chapters. I'm not very deep. I just kind of casually read it one night while I was feeling a little low. Like I said, I think after we're done streaming, which probably won't be too much longer if we don't think of some other talk about. Like I said, I might just get a hot shower and relax my muscles and then, like, lie down and read. By the bracing coolness of the outside, if it's actually cool out there. We hope. But I'm in a few chapters in. overall, still got the good tone. It does the classic thing I think serialized mysteries do, where you get a lot of like callbacks to characters and events. It starts with Shin has bought the theater and is like refurbishing it, and he thought that would be cool, but now he's bored. Of course he is. So he gets a tip on a mystery to solve from a character from the first one. Ichikonomi calls him up, and she's like, "Hey, I helped you out in the last book. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Do me a solid." And he's like, "Sure, I'll solve a mystery. Show me to the crime." I will say that something I like about branching out from the sequel was, and I say this, by the way, not as a value judgment. I like this about the first book. But to me, as a fan of the RPG, it was clear that when Josh Reynolds, the author, wrote Poison River, the first book, that he was like, "Hey, can I get some setting background and do some research?" Somebody literally handed him the Emerald Empire source book, which has been printed for like every edition of L5R and talking about different things, but it's like a basic like location primer, and literally mined all the bullet points and plot hooks in the section about the city of the Rich Frog. Like all the major character, like the high level major characters, are the named NPCs in that section. He literally uses plot hooks from the like 3 bullet point, here's how to make a quick story bullet point thing. Talks about all the areas. You just got murdered in a room somewhere. I need to know where you got murdered from.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's like, hey, I just got shot. Why? My back's to a wall. Who is in front of me? It's like, I don't know. Ta-da!
So, like, it was very obvious that, like, he asked for research materials and they handed him something. He just went like, okay, going with it. The second book is not like that. As far as I can tell, the villages and towns up in the Unicorn Clan territory, which is where it's set, up in some of the mountains. I think it's the Yuchi lands, but it might be the Ide. Probably technically Ide. Though sometimes the pronunciation is weird. It's not exact. But as far as I can tell, that area hasn't been detailed at all. Like, I don't recognize the name of like the village or anything from any of the other like setting books and stuff. The Unicorn source book, quote unquote, hasn't come out yet. We don't even know what that would be about. Right, so like, this seems like Josh Reynolds is either like going online and like digging up old edition lore. Definitely seems that way with some of the surnames. This is the thing I also loved about the first book is core L5R fiction does not usually this, but Josh Reynolds for Daidoji Shin actually diversifies surnames. So some Heyman, some middle-class peasants actually have surnames, which was uncommon for some, but not unheard of, and is not discussed anywhere in the rulebooks for the RPG at all. And also gives vassal families basically referred to by their own surname primarily, and not the over clan's name, because this is a thing that occasionally happened in the RPG, where like for instance, his bodyguard is, I think she's from the Hinamori vassal family. Usually the way in the RPG and the core fiction, like that came out with like the LCG and stuff and the novellas, she would be, I think it's Hinamori no Doji Kasumi. So like Doji's Hinamori family Kasumi kind of a thing. Or of the Hinamori family of the Doji's Kasumi, however you want to grammatically shake that out. Nice roof. Good luck. In the Daidoji Shin mysteries, she's just Hinamori Kasumi. Like, nobody really fights about the extra surnames, which, for the sake of, like, still being partially written into my... That guy's really getting down. He's doing the fucking Baron Zemo.
Well, yeah, I gotta kill that guy. I'm pretty sure he's my
Yeah, of course
target.
you do. You want to just pop him while he's dancing?
No. That's another one I gotta take care of.
But yeah, so like being like partially written into my own campaign and also like generally talking about the setting. Yeah, that's better if you can diversify characters by giving them different surnames. A lot of your major characters will still be from the major clan families, but the fact that they actually shake this up and like include some new lore, because this is something the current edition of the RPG hasn't done a lot with, his vassal family. Has not outright like it's name dropped a few, but there's not necessarily like direct mechanics for playing a specific member of a vassal family. There are some schools which are probably Vassal family schools, but are not explicitly called that. So, like, it's a little wiggly, and I appreciate it. So, I will be happy to finish reading this book because it is. It seems like it's a good sequel. And we got mysteries and stuff to solve. And after that, I will probably get around to finally reading Night Parade of 1,000 because I've had it for like I've been busy, okay? But it sits there on my shelf, mocking. But I think that was most of the stuff I wanted to hit up. Lucky, is there anything you in particular want to talk about this week?
Let's see here. I've bitched mostly all I wanted about Far Cry, I think. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a bad game. It's just wasted potential, I guess is the best way to put it.
It's a little limited.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that reminded me. That was another factoid I read recently. CD Projekt Red, I think, said that they are... it's still slow going, so they are delaying the next-gen update to Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher 3 till next year. A little sad, but I am glad that work is continuing. I do kind of want to see those updates.
Nice.
2 for 1?
Yep.
1 shot, 2 kills.
What was the plan?
Then I think if we don't have anything else to say, I think the only other thing we could do is talk about Star Wars, but...
I think that was
don't have to,
really...
you know,
No, we can talk about Star Wars. I think it'd be good.
Okay.
But...
We've been working through our AP backlog, so all APs should be out and caught up. So you guys can catch up at home. We are still undergoing our party thing.
Yep.
So I think we didn't talk about the first bit because it wasn't resolved yet. We were kind of cliffhanging stuff last week. So overall, I think I had I had some fun designing this. I think. Because the party is kind of an excuse to get you guys definitely out of your gear and a little bit out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So to kind of like make stuff challenging without really making you guys feel weaker, and honestly, with not necessarily making you guys that weaker. When the dice actually come out, you guys are still very competent. It's just that you don't have quite as many of your fancy toys as you usually rely on. So, in addition to all the party bullshit you would expect, including lots of vignettes with NPCs who just talk, that's definitely a me GMing style. Is if I don't give NPCs specific notes, I just improv it, and so long as you keep letting me improv, I will continue to improv.
Yeah.
Which in some cases I feel like you guys feel like you don't want to stop me, and I'm just like, no, you don't understand. While you are looking at this character, the dialogue doesn't stop. Like that happened in our second session of the party, where you were like, no, I need to get these guys away from me, because that's when Omega will stop talking as these characters.
Yeah.
Only when they leave the scene will they shut up, and we can move on. But in addition to like normal social gathering stuff, there have been a couple of they're called crises in my notes. Like there's been a couple of flashpoints from stuff. First, I basically replicated Die Hard.
Yep.
A character called Alhan Gruben. Rolled up and like took everybody hostage. That was kind of an interesting thing. You talked about this later when you were like, yeah, we never really dealt with a hostage situation before. We didn't really have that in our SOP. Not that anybody couldn't have told that from listening to the AP. No offense, Matt, but there was a little bit of figuring out what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah. Like, I definitely had to talk. I definitely had some words about that, like, I don't know, like a few days later about that. Talked to Axe a little bit about how we have different styles of, what do I want to call it? Problem solving, I guess? Like me, like I think I've talked about this before. I'm a very defense-oriented kind of person when it comes to plans. I usually go for plans that gives me the maximum result for the least amount of risk.
Yes, you don't like to overcommit.
Yeah.
You would much prefer like occasionally you just say fuck it and give it the fuck it adjustment, but like 9 out of 10 times if I show you a fork in the road and I'm like, on one fork is a spooky wood filled with bats and stuff, and on the other hand here's a pleasant meadow trail. They're both roughly the same length. You'll be like, well, I'm going to take the fucking pleasant meadow trail cuz I don't need any extra shenanigans in my life. Like if you go into the dark spooky woods, it's clearly because either in or out of character you're like, oh, I'm not gonna be sassed by no dark spooky woods. March. Like if we're all being rational actors, you will usually pick the safe play most of the time. And even if you don't pick the safe play, you like contingency plans. You like to think about the possibilities and like not plan for every instance because you know we can't plan for every instance, but like you're definitely like, okay, when this goes wrong, what do we do next?
Yeah. So, and with Axe is very confident in his ability to hide things and shoot things. So before I can even say anything, he's like, all right, I'm going to go hide things so I can possibly shoot things. And it's just like, all right.
Well, I would say in general, like to overexpand that beyond just his current character.
Yeah.
Axe is very much, I am good at this thing. I can do the thing. I'll do the thing I'm good at. Like he is very much more about, I have maximized my potential outcome in this aspect of my character. I will do that thing because I am good at it, regardless necessarily of its direct mechanical risks or narrative impact. Usually he's like, well, this is the thing I'm good at, so this is the thing I would do, which is usually appropriate in character, but it is sometimes frustrating for us when it, like a lot of times it's jumped to shoot the boss first, and it's like, I know you're supposed to go first and shoot people, but also that was kind of disappointing. That was not fulfilling for you to go first, because it wasn't fulfilling for the rest of us, and we're not afraid to bitch and moan about it, so it's not fun for Axe either. Which is probably slightly harsh of us sometimes, but it's also a little bit of like, well, we didn't get to have any fun. Why do you get to have fun doing the thing you wanted to do, and the rest of us are just sitting here holding our dicks?
Oh god, do I have to do the flying car shit? Oh no.
What flying car shit? I don't like the sound of that.
This is a car that when it goes fast enough, you can just fucking take off.
Are you racing?
Flight mode activate. Yeah,
it is. You are relay racing, or rally racing.
Okay, it's not okay. It just pops open a fucking grid. Okay, that's not the worst.
All right, so the controls don't completely change. You just get like a parasail behind you. Okay.
Yeah. I was a little concerned that we're gonna do some weird like jet engine bullshit, and I was like, oh no.
No, you just drive the flying car through the weird smoke ring. Far Cry.
Oh, now I have to get back on ground. Oh, I did it.
Well, any landing you can walk away from.
I have never. This is why I prefer helicopters. It's easy to fucking land a helicopter. I hate landing planes. Helicopter.
I'm actually, honestly, I'm quite glad it sounds like helicopters are good. There's some games I'm not good at helos in. I think Battlefield, I'm usually bad at helos. I could not fly a helicopter for shit in GTA 5. Always was like.
Oh, we're going up again. Actually, can I just... Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit...
Yeah, you're focused. You gotta, like, pull the handle. You're doing a fucking kangaroo. Like, I'm watching the preview. We're about, like, what was it, like 8 to 10 seconds behind on, like, ultra low.
Yeah.
So I'm a little behind you still, but, like, no, I see.
But...
You're flying, like, under bridges and shit. This is the whole thing.
Like I said, the game is lovely. I enjoy the Caribbean scenery and whatnot and all the cliffsides, but those have physics. I have just planted myself face first into one of these before, so yeah. Bonkus.
But yeah, so the hostage situation, to kind of go back to task, that was a little interesting because like at one point you went ahead and go for the whatchamacallit, the hostage situation thing. Like you guys No, what I was saying was you got a little annoyed like in character at Axe for like not being there when you gave the plan, but Axe was, and I even pointed out, well, technically I started moving before you said your plan, but and you're like, no, you are correct.
Mm-hmm.
You were already in motion. Like obviously I think in character Arama would have preferred Camo to go back to what he was doing, but it was definitely like, well, I mean you're here, so fuck it.
Yeah. Okay, there's the end. Thank God. But, let's see here. There we go. Oh, sorry. I looked away and I completely crashed. So, this is why you don't do distracted driving. But, with this hostage situation, yeah, like, not really sure, like, because, again, that's my first thing, is gather information, gather resources, and make sure everything is, you know, exactly what we're working with. So my original thought was, all right, I'm gonna get everyone in one spot. I'm going to somehow try and remove the hostages from the line of fire, and I'm actually gonna try and, you know, stall for time and find out what Grouper wants. My intent was you know, to did I say something? Did I just run over something bad? No, we're fine. We're fine. Oh, I somehow hit the gas. I don't know how, but okay. Okay.
I mean, you did just drive between the two pumps.
Yeah, I know, but the ones back here are broken. Like, I thought I was trying to drive through here.
I mean, you got a giant fan blade on the back. I don't know. Does it, like, knock stuff over?
I don't know. Also,
this is still, like, obviously a little sensitive, but it is a video game.
Also, where did the fucking wings pop out of? Did it... Explain this. Did it come out of this?
I mean, I guess it's top, but...
Anyway. And then that. So... What I was hoping to do is to give, you know, the other players some instructions of, hey, clear the hostages out somehow. And I said this several times, but every time I said it, guess what? Marth and Love just kind of sat on their fucking thumbs about it. So that was also a little frustrating to me. Because, like, I understand that, like, because this is a weird thing, like, I feel like the things that people want me to... I don't know, like, if people want me to be the leader or not, because either people will... Like, I'm not good with, like... I'm not good with, Fuck it, let's just take off. I'm not good... Yes, I'm not good with people being, like... I'm not good with people not listening... I'm not good with people not listening to me. That's the thing, I'm really not. If people aren't going to listen to me, I'm just not going to give orders. That's how I do. That's how I do. So, if you want me to be the leader, you please either need to... If you want me to be the leader, you have to listen to what I say. That's how it is. If you want to be, like, some rebellious punk who's throwing authority, that's its own thing. That's its own thing. That's, like, a character detail. But I'm dealing with another Jedi and my clone boys. So, when I say do something and no one does anything, this doesn't apply to Axe, because Axe is usually doing something. It's just the problem is sometimes he's not doing the thing that I want him to do. I'm like, okay, you got on me a little bit when I said, like, for the third time, like, we need to get the hostages cleared out, and you're like, yeah, but no one's actually doing anything. I was like, yeah, no shit.
Well, yeah, that was like, that was pointed. It was not necessarily pointed at you specifically, but it was definitely pointed to the players in general. Like, yes, Lucky, I have heard you say your plan. If you wanted to go somewhere, these guys need to do something, and they were like, though I was also kind of like, because I feel like part of the problem was sometimes these guys don't know what to do with your orders, and they don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, nobody really wants to sass about it. So I was like, okay, all right. You're telling them what you want. What do you want them to do to get them out? And you were like, I don't know, just move them. And then we had this conversation where, like, you thought the venue was a little smaller than I had intended.
Yeah.
And I said, that was my bad. I did not necessarily illustrate how it was larger, because, like, in terms of, like, raw NPCs, there were, like, 20 dudes on my name list. I already mentioned there were, like, at least, like, another couple dozen, so another, like, 20, 25 dudes who between, like, plainclothes marshals, there were plainclothes cops in the audience as security, and then you also brought, like, most of your officer corps, so there was like another like dozen plus clones as well, and then there was probably like another like 30, 40, maybe even 50 like extras. So there was supposed to be like between 75 and 100 people there.
Yeah.
You were thinking more like 50ish, and I was just like, yeah, that wouldn't quite work with the numbers I've already thrown out.
You know, like, and here's the thing is how the question we get them out. Talk to me about it. Like, I'm okay with people giving me ideas and talking and things and all that stuff, but we have to fucking communicate because, and that's the problem is, Loth.
Well, and that's why I prompted you because I'm like, okay, nobody's going anywhere. Lucky, do you have something in mind for how they should get them out? And you're kind of like, yeah. And we got into the whole thing about the numbers level, so it was that kind of turned out to be not as feasible as you thought it was originally, which was a whole different thing. But yeah, they did not necessarily go for the clarification either. They were just like, I guess we just stand in front of guys and are ready for thing to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody else was going to do the thing that happened. There's something going on with these bananas. I'm not sure if I should comfort.
This person's kind of great. That's a dude with coconuts in their dress. They're great. It's basically this person's a propaganda celebrity. You know, supposed to praise regimes, celebrity, all that stuff. But you know, it's actually the spy master for Libertad.
I mean, your anxiety problems are your own. You assume a lot about your anxiety and just let your assumptions control your actions a lot. You let your consumptions assault your actions. Blah. It's a little late, like I said, and I'm a little stretching. Well, that's the thing, Axe. This is the thing we talk about. Assume. You should ask.
Mm-hmm.
You should ask. Okay, that's your plan. What do you want me to be doing in this plan? Like, what do I do in your vision of this plan? And like, if Lucky doesn't know what you do in the vision of his plan, that's his problem. You know. You guys don't. You need to not be afraid to like acknowledge that sometimes Lucky may not have laid out a perfectly plotted plan yet, and you guys can communicate and develop the plan.
Like, honestly, Axe, there's been plenty of times when you have ideas, and I always listen to them. I don't always agree with them. But if I don't agree with them, I'll usually lay out the reasons why I don't agree with them. I don't think I've ever been like, no, fuck you, because I hate your plan, and I just want to do my plan. Like...
Yeah. Like, I think occasionally we have some back and forth about, like, well, I kind of want to do my thing better. But, like... Or sometimes... Not necessarily any one of the specific players, but sometimes some players will be like, but this way's funnier. But usually there's communication.
Yeah.
The problem is actually breaking down the communication.
Where's this? Is it up? Oh, it's up there.
Not maybe. There's no maybe in that question.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky is not some mind hacker. He is not some master manipulator. He is not just yelling at you until you come up with the same plan he wants you to do anyway. He's not like trying to like bullying you into thinking that his plan is your plan. He's like, okay, like, sure, sometimes it's a little bossy. It's like, okay, smartass, you come up with your own plan. But, you know, I think we're all just like that. There's times where as GM, I'm like, okay, guys, if you're so smart, what do you want to do? And sometimes you guys don't know what you want to do. And I'm like, that's what I thought. And other times it's like, well, actually, I want to do this. So we go places. But, you know, there's a wonderful art to pacing RPGs and stuff, which is sometimes it's very fast, sometimes it's very slow. There's a very infamous thing with I think it was their second campaign, Critical Role had with a chair, where Matt Mercer has a reputation of being kind of like like, you know, kind of a devious GM. So like the player characters are like investigating a mystery and they run into a room that's just empty but has a chair in it, and like all the players are like, oh, this chair's got to be a thing. Keep in mind, earlier in the campaign he did the fucking like magic rug thing, so they like got attacked by a carpet, so they're super paranoid, right? So like they freak out for like, oh, I think it's got to be like 20 or 30 fucking minutes about this chair. Like it's minimum 15, and at the end he's just like, no guys, it's just a chair. Like, it's a set piece. It's not a trap. It's just there was, like, a weird interrogation in this room. It's a chair. And that's how players be sometimes. Like, sometimes you deliberately end up slow. Sometimes you end up fast. And then sometimes you just got to be like, all right, guys, come on. Let's do the thing. And, like, I try not to rush you guys because I don't want to be like, oh, well, the GM's rushing us. I guess we just do whatever dumb thing comes to mind first, you know, because, like, I like my players to, like, figure out what they want to do, figure out the consequences, and respond appropriately. Like, it's not from bad experience. I think it's just from listening to everybody's horror stories on the internet. I never wanted to like run into one of those like obvious bad GM things where just like the GM doesn't tell you the consequences of anything and just lets you assume whatever and then is like, oh ho, you've fallen into my trap, now die, kind of a thing. I just like, nah, it doesn't seem fun to me. But yeah, there was a little bit of blockiness to the plot. We got a little slow in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it did eventually unglue itself, and I think it worked out okay.
Mm-hmm. We got through it. I got to punch Ruben off the fence. Everyone just queued to that scene of Die Hard. You know the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
That was kind of fun because you guys got to kind of like turn his plan on its head and do your own plan about his plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because you did some pre-setup work. One of you guys screwed up completely? I don't fucking know.
Here's the thing: if you screw up completely, we're either dead or captured. Varying degrees of
I
success.
guess you've never done a 100% fuck up before.
No. Like I said,
I think there have been a couple of times where you guys have planned to do things, and they have just because you guys did not have complete information. The plan did not go like you thought it would because of unforeseen complications, or possibly foreseen but not investigated conflict. You know, you guys do roll dice for a lot of these things. But if you want me to like recall specific scenarios, I don't fucking know. Do you think I keep track of your failures? Like, every time you guys fuck up, do I like carve a tally mark in my wall? No, that's not how I do this. When I remember things, mostly I remember times you guys have either had like really interesting interactions or when the roles have been like really blown out and like something really interesting has happened, for better or worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, failure's not memorable to be X. Failure's only memorable to you.
Mm-hmm. But don't focus on failures.
I mean, you should learn from your failures, but like hopefully that's already happened. I'm not gonna like I said, I don't keep a notebook of all the times you guys have fucked up to like throw back at you later. I am hoping that when you guys do something that you perceive as fucking up, or even if it's I perceive as fucking up, I will let you know that was fucked up, and then we like you learn from it because you realize there was a thing there.
All right, I'm gonna go take this base. Oh, actually, it's night, so let me go put on my hat. That highlights things at night.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty fucking useful. I like how instead of just fucking the fence, they just put a fucking tripwire over it. The fence overcome.
Better watch my step.
Actually, where's the security room? Does this place have a security room? They do. It's all the way over there. Let me just leave and go all the way around.
Oh.
But
Hololive Ian's doing their big Among Us collab.
Oh, lovely.
I'll probably have to watch either clips or try and watch somebody's POV of that later.
I'm
sure it'll get clipped to hell with like literally. Hold on, how many participants? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. With like 11 fucking POVs, somebody will clip some shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the hostage potential kind of like slow rolled a little, but you guys got in the groove and then it worked out okay.
Mm-hmm.
It helped that both by stats and just by role playing, I role played the thugs as thugs. They were not super like professional one. Yeah, I think that that's probably a good example of like something that recently happened where you did not fail because you did not get all eaten by a giant monster, but that did not go to plan.
Mm-hmm.
And some would argue that at certain points there was not a plan. Some people might say that, hypothetically. But like you guys still got out of that, and I think in character Arama learned her lesson about literally biting off more than she can chew, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was just like I said, I don't want the pacing to like slow to a crawl because you guys don't know what to do. Like if we're all standing around an action scene and nobody's doing anything, I'm gonna be like, what are you doing? Like, give me something. And if you're like, I don't fucking know, and I'm like, okay, then you're gonna stand there and be like, what am I fighting for? Kind of a thing. Like,
Oh.
so, but that's because that's how that works, you know? You're in an action moment. You got to do stuff. This is why, you know, we have the classic, the classic idea of, like, the cliche of, like, the ninja attack. Like, if you're not doing anything in an RPG, eventually, like, the GM just sends waves and waves of ninjas at you to make you do stuff because you're sitting around not doing anything. That doesn't really work in our case because usually we're doing, like, scripted, like, plot hooks or missions.
I would like to hit this person, please. Thank you. There we go.
Occasionally with, like, open world or whatever, but, like, mostly it's just, like, you guys. Was that, like, railing eating your bullets or something? I did not understand why that was so troublesome.
I do not know either.
I will say that does seem to be a slight problem with the highlighting effect, is it's very highlighted, so you can't tell about, overview. Well, yeah, now these guys are talking about in chat the second bit. So, we resolved the whole basically Die Hard situation.
Mm-hmm.
Webu got to have a cool fight with the rest of the thugs and kind of a bonus thing because you decided you couldn't leave well enough alone that they were trying to rob a bank.
How dare?
So they got bonkied.
Laser battery.
I mean, that was not a failure, but that one was a little weird because I don't know if it was like Marth was thinking about Webu's like personal code of conduct thing or what, but that was a little slow rolled. I think maybe we didn't Marth didn't realize how many guys were there. I was like, no, I told you, there's like a dozen guys down here, and there's a boss man. Now that wasn't a big problem for Webu, but it was definitely kind of awkward when she just like, I'll fight them, and sauntered into the room, and then it was like, okay, you're gonna get bonkled by a lot of guys, even though you have like a literal dozen extras of your own hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
But we got there. Stuff happened, and that was kind of interesting. We got to do some more funny stuff. We moved on to, like I said, cocktail hour, like dancing, drinking. If Loth is still here, I will absolutely throw shade at him. Because he was thinking about an appointment he had to go to and mostly spent his time being really existentially crisis about tubes of Klon for some reason, despite the fact that it's his own dumb joke, and drinking quietly in the corner. Which, considering how the previous session went, may have been a little too much, but hey, whatever. Whatever works for you, my dude. You guys talked to lots of NPCs at length and kept asking them things, prompting me to continue their ludicrous mannerisms.
I think my favorite point from that thing is when Marth was talking to, what was the bounty hunter's name?
Oh, I was just thinking of that. I can't remember. It's in our backlog somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, was talking to him, and then I say, hey, Marth, maybe you should ask, like the terrorist modus operandi or whatever. And then ask the fucking bounty hunter what his mode of operation is. Like, no, the target. And then this comes back later when when Arama actually says, so what's the terrorist gonna do? And Marv tells me the bounty hunter's moving. And I was like, no, the other thing. And it just,
yeah, it became a callback joke.
Yeah, it was so good. I love that.
Yeah, it was Lalstrad from the bounty hunter guilds. Drink another beer. I always made sure to make the sip sound to let you guys know he was drinking another beer, and you guys never stopped him.
I tried.
Yeah, that was his nickname, the Black Ballista.
What is this? Opresta.
But like, yeah, that was kind of an interesting, weird interaction. Because I don't think Webu makes casual conversation to a lot of people at bars.
Mm-hmm.
But Loth even says, avoid any and all social interactions earlier, and I'm like, okay. That did kind of work because there were some vignettes that I did not do with him.
Ooh. Well, let's see.
I don't think it was that boring. Well, I don't know. The audience might not find it. I thought it was kind of interesting to do the going back and forth. A guy challenged Camo to a duel. And you guys were really blasé about it.
I was, because
Well,
I knew...
maybe blasé is not the exact right word, but like the guy was literally challenged Camo to fight with potentially deadly weapons, even if it was like, you know, to the pain or whatever. And like you were just like, okay. Will he take money? And I'm like, in my notes it says he finds that insulting, so no. And then it was like, all right, well, you know, there was I even put in my notes like if you guys wanted to try and like negotiate for him. This gun is weird, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck this does, but
I think it's supposed to suit like explosive rounds, but I have a mod on it that makes them proximity, so they're not on a time explosive anymore.
That's fun.
Yeah, no, but I'm like, you know, this is the resolver weapon. Resolver weapons are neat, but again, they don't necessarily mesh with my play style. Like I said, what is that? What is that over there? That's a horse. Do not shoot the horse. Short horses are friends. They do not give me meat. Well, I gotta go.
Horses are friends, not food.
Well, now I'm gonna go see if I can hit people with it. Will it blow up then? You know, field testing.
Probably. Yeah.
But where were we?
The duel.
The duel.
Yeah, because like I had it in my notes that like if you wanted to like try and like negotiate it, if you like if somebody had been like, whoa, we can't be like shedding blood at this even at the roof of this party. It was like, you know, hand to hand or something. Or he would also have gone to stun blasters. I think was my big like, you know, 10 paces and turn kind of a thing. But it, you know, it was definitely like. As Axe said in chat, Camo was definitely like, whatever, I'll do it. And you were like, Camo, are you okay to do it? All right, well, then I don't care.
Well, it was just one of those things. It's like... It was one of those things of, like, I think I made a kind of defense to, like... Because it was, like, you know, the whole... Fuck it. No. Maybe if I put it back on a time fuser, maybe that'll be it. But for right now, I'm just gonna go back to Granny Launcher. I was kind of be like, you know, if it's just a matter of the... I think the matter of the dress, it's like, we can just, you know, maybe... You know, send it to get restored, but then he was like, you know, Europe was like, it might take a bit of money, and it was just like, you know, hey, you gonna foot the bill? And he's like, no, my honor. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was in my notes. Was like, especially because you guys are filthy fucking rich. I was like, if I do this, and by the way, it was in my notes that if possible, it should happen to Boots actually, but he was literally sulking at the bar. So, and Camo was actually out dancing for once. So, Camo got it. And I think it was almost funnier that.
Note to self: I need to ship Camo and Amanda Gunstar harder. Yes.
I'm very glad that we caught that because I felt like that was unsubtle in the first interaction, but it didn't really go anywhere.
Well, no, I was totally picking up on that when when we first because Armando was very nice to Camo and not so nice to Boots.
Correct. It was. I've heard of writers who use subtext and they're all cowards. That was a very deliberate choice. That you know, Camo being kind of the Rudy Tooty aim and shooty one, that Armando would think he was cool, and she calls him Mr. Camo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think she even calls Boots by his name most of the time because. And also, to be fair, during the Fire Canyon bits was some primo Boots snark. That was one of the times you had to put Boots on the ground and like sit on him.
Yeah.
He was being a little too sassy.
There's just two dudes sitting in the fucking shake 6 feet apart because they're not gay. Oh wait, no, that's a woman. Now it's just a dude. Now it's an empty tank.
I was waiting for it. But yeah, so it happened, and it was deliberately in my notes that like you guys could not just rub money on it. Like he was gonna be kind of an asshole too. Like about it because like he has money too, so it was about the like insult and you know satisfying his honor. So it was gonna be really hard. Like a really hard attempt to like outright persuade him to like let it drop or intimidate him or whatever, or a much easier attempt if you guys had wanted to and attempted to like get him to like go down from like deadly just like I said, 10 paces and turn stun blast.
Well, the thing is like I wasn't too worried about it because I'm pretty like I know X, I know how he is in combat. It's like I'm pretty sure if it has to do with like some sort of melee weapon or some sort of light pistol, Axe is just going to win handily. Honestly, that's probably why it should have probably been Boots. Now that I think about it, if it had been Boots, I'd probably been a lot more concerned.
Yeah.
But we know what Axe.
Well, yes, role playing wise, if you want to like continue the NPC interaction, you should probably do something besides me just dropping that she exists. Because I have to run many NPCs. You probably want to like deliberately synergize with them.
Oh no, like I think I mentioned at some point at the corner Arama actually notes in character like this interaction. She was just like So yeah.
Well, and I think the primary thing to be concerned about with Camo would be his deadliness. But Axe caught it in character. He like hit the guy with an attack and was like, I could crit, but then I'd probably like cut his arm off or something. So I'm not gonna do that. Very good restraint, by the way. Thumbs up. Very good roleplay. Not just using big number do better. And like that was a good interaction because like it worked out that way and it let Camo kind of like show restraint and we kind of dovetailed into other stuff. But I thought it was kind of funny how with the way the characters lined up, it was just like, Arma observes the problem, pokes a little, and is like, okay, this guy's not really being cooperative. Fine, he could fight Camo if he wants.
Your cat looks hungry.
Well, yeah. It's like, well, I guess I know it's a little thing, but again, like, I don't know. How do I want to say this? It's like, I didn't like. This might be sound so weird, but to me, the duel wasn't as serious as it was to the other dude. It's like
obviously,
like
that is also kind of the point.
Yeah, it's like I was like, all right, fine. Like I was literally like, okay, what is the quickest and cleanest way for this to solve this problem? He doesn't want to accept money, but I'm not gonna foot this fucking bill for him, like, to do this because it's a fucking party. It was an accident. It happens. That's why, I got Europa, and it's like, Europa, you know stuff. Please, tell me things about this dress. How hard is this to fix? God, I love Europa. I just want to attach her to my hip constantly. She's such a wealth of information. Holy shit. But,
What a crazy fucking 24 hours.
It's just one of the things. All right, so he's being a prickler for this. He doesn't want to pay for it. I'm not going to pay for it. I know Camo can literally wipe the floor with this guy, so yeah, why not? Just fucking fight him. It's the easiest way. Your honor's satisfied, you'll pay for the dress, and the dress gets fixed. Everyone fucking is win. I'm going back to fucking drinking. Heck.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes,
know
the Force
if
doesn't work that way.
Libertad and Claro
Well,
Garcia could have helped
pathetically.
us. Not that you would.
Because I respect Europa's force powers, and so she has a little bit of manipulation.
By the way, I hate this girl.
Fixed damage time. Interesting.
She's a basic college student gorilla who doesn't want to listen to anyone and thinks she knows best. And when everything goes wrong because she didn't listen to anyone, she's like, I don't want to fucking hear it. I'm like, you need to fucking hear it, bitch. All your friends are dead. So no, I do not like her.
But yeah, so there was some interesting vignettes. We did some fun stuff. There was another thing with the museum thing, which went on really long because
I uploaded a pic of the jammers to your phone.
some of the stuff you guys really wanted to drill down on, which was not super required. But you guys, you satisfied your curiosity about the NPC question and kept going. I'm glad I was able to play that entire section without giving either of those characters names. Since they were not named in my notes, they were just random. And then we got to the conclusion crisis, which was you had a special musical performance. Then the senator gave a speech that was super long. And he said something that will probably be important next session because I'm sure you guys give a shit about it. It's just, at the time, you were slightly more concerned with something else.
Yes.
I'm actually kind of glad you accidentally cottoned on that there was something wrong early. And I like that. Because I definitely mentioned in the first session that like the balcony or the mezzanine level was like dark and shut up. Like people weren't up there because it was just seating. But it hadn't come up in the second session. So you're like, oh, I'll kind of go up there and like watch the musical performance up there. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's sealed. And you're like, what? Yeah, it's been locked the whole time. They're not using it because it's just seating. It's not like a ballroom. Okay, that's interesting. And then you know, like once that little seed was planted and you asked about it a little, you know, you gotta have you know, you start investigating, you start poking, and then it, you know, comes out, oh hey, the assistant's missing. Where did that guy get to? And you're like, where's this guy? Where the fuck is this guy? Like, you got really into it, and I liked it because that was very on theme. Like that was very much like, you know, like a Die Hard, like a James Bond, or like a 24 of like, where's the guy? Where's the guy go? Where is he? Kicking down doors looking for guy.
I think my favorite moment is when everyone contacted me on the earbuds, like, hey, is there something that's like, hang on 1 second, crunch.
Yeah. You're like, is something going on? And you were just like, hold on a minute, and you just broke down the door. Crink. That quote unquote fight went by very fast, but I think I'm okay with that. Because it was supposed to kind of be that way. Honestly, the character stat line for the assistant was way more annoying if you guys either blew his cover early and he's just like, oh, it wasn't me, I didn't do anything, or you like missed him entirely and then we're trying to solve the mystery backwards, you know? Like if you hadn't been at the mezzanine already, ready to kick his ass when he took that shot, tried to snipe the senator, and Wevu had to yell, "Get down, Mr. Senator!" You know, it would have been interesting.
One of the few times that Omega got to go first.
Yeah.
It was
I
wild.
rolled amazingly well, and I'm like, well, fuck it. He's got to take the shot. Damn.
Yeah.
Like, I thought for pretty sure he was going to have to, like, spin and, like, try and shoot at Arama or something. But no, I rolled really well. You guys didn't go quite so super ham on the initiative, and I was like, oh, hey, do I go first? Well, know what's happening. And, like, I wasn't so cruel as to be like, yeah, the senator's dead. Yeah, I was like, I know Wevu was ready to take the bullet, so, you know, we'll have her roll to, like, take the shot for him. I feel like maybe our two cloney boys, it was late at the night, like, as we wrapped up, Loth was really like, all right, I'm leaving, bye. Tell me where the XP is. Gotta go to my appointment for my vax shot. So, like, maybe that's why he was not super involved. But I'm kind of surprised that, like UX were actually kind of like, yeah, I'll just check it out. Oh, I get, you know, Arma's like trying to look towards the mezzanine. I guess I'll just casually kind of look out there, you know. Like, you and Wevu both seemed not relaxed, but like fairly on of like, okay, well, Arma's investigating something, so I'm just gonna kind of stand here near the senator and, you know, see how shit plays out. You know, kind of watch the crowd. And it turned into a just Arama does the old like flying axe kick double tap thing, and you punch the shit out of that guy.
Holy shit!
And we'll probably wrap up soon. That shower. Once, I should lean back more in my chair, but that fucks with my mic space audio. I also love, like, some GMs would be upset. No, I love this, that, like, you met the assistant, and I was like, yeah, he's pretty, like, he's really bland. He literally has the undistinguishable talent. Like, he's literally hard to remember and distinct. He's kind of bland and mousy. Seems perfectly normal, and you were like, this guy's a fucking spy. Like, I honestly usually like when the players catch the, like, obvious genre stuff. Because, like, you started with, like, oh, shit, has he been kidnapped? And then when you were like, oh, no, it's him. Yeah. Fuck that guy. I think I wrapped that one up pretty fast because, like I said, Loth had to go, and I wanted to just make sure we get all this stuff out of the way. Next session will probably start with, like, Wevu got pulled into the green room by Boots and is going to need doctoring. Because she took, like, 12 damage with super mega pierce. Pierce 4. Not as much as Arma pierces with her punches. You know what I mean? And we'll go from there, because next is you guys have dinner and dancing, and you'll have some time to discuss over the meal what that thing the senator said was about you know, electing a special representative for Soholiv. Doesn't have voting power in the Galactic Senate, but will represent your interests. And I'm sure you guys... Well, Arma definitely gives a shit about that.
Oh, I do. Can't be me, though. That's
No.
the thing.
No, you're not from Soholiv. That doesn't count.
Nope.
Well, and I don't think you have to be like a native. But it would. I don't know if Jedi can be senators. That's probably a conflict of interest.
Probably.
Janitors. Yeah, you forgot about it in the hustle, but no, I'm like, this is gonna come back because that's like a major plot point. Is like you guys will have a chance to like check the pulse, maybe hear or see some candidates, and like, have your own opportunity to kind of shape what direction you want to push people for better or worse on everything. Obviously, I don't know how much the clones give a shit about politics. I know that at least Camo probably gives enough of a shit about like tactics. Boots is probably just like, so long as he's not an asshole, give me another whiskey. And Webu probably doesn't care about politics either, but I'm sure she cares about moral standing and fiber.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, we actually might have to actually go.
Yeah, I got some stuff for like the gossip. And we'll see what else we got out. We'll probably wrap the scenario. I'm very excited for some of the vignettes and some of the other stuff I got in the last bit.
I am too. Like, I'm just hoping we don't have, just another major crisis. It's like, man, like for a simple party, there's a lot of shit happening.
Yeah, that was kind of I was like, is this too much stuff? And I'm like, it's like a three-pronged structure. Like the night is divided into segments, buffeted by the crises, kind of as these tent poles. So it's like, I mean, if they proceed swiftly enough with the hostage situation, yeah, the party wouldn't end. And then the senator, like if the senator got shot, the party would be over.
Yeah.
And that would turn into like future subplot shit. That would be kind of like that would be you blew it, you failed kind of a thing. You guys were supposed to be on guard and the senator got shot. This is more of like
I'm connected to a computer.
these next bits will be more about like your political back and forth and maybe some like more personal stakes stuff. Because you're right, I wouldn't want to like, and then for the third crisis, the separatists invade. Helicopter gunships and murder droids. No, that would be the wrong kind of escalation.
It's just one of those things of all like, okay, apparently I'm never throwing a party again. Fuck.
Yeah. The couple of things you've run into are like the first one was just location. Because technically, the bank president was here, and you guys were over the bank vaults, technically, which was a detail I, threw in the backdrop.
Yep.
And the second one was like, well, it seemed like a pretty good idea, a pretty good place to murder the senator, because he'd be at relatively minimal security, and he'd be in a big open space where the guy had control. And I'm sure I don't know if we'll roleplay it, but I'm sure you will talk to the assistant, Fabi Norpink, and get his story. He will probably sing like a space canary. You don't even have to like mind hack him like they do in the Clone Wars show, where like 3 Jedi Masters like do a weird fucking exorcist scene with Cad Bane to make him tell them something, which is really freaky deaky. You'll probably just be like, all right, tell me everything, and he'll be like, all right, I'll tell you everything. Please don't break my fragile bones again.
Oh yeah, I did punch him like super fucking hard.
You did your old double tap move. You attacked and then called the ball on Overpower to do a second attack, and that was pretty much over for him because he was a nemesis. He was not a particularly tanky nemesis. Did have a big scary gun though.
Yeah,
It's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, what was it? It was just the regular one. It's not the heavy one. I remember running around with the heavy one. That was
that was Dr. Murderbot's preferred endgame weapon that was very expensive and powerful, and that was that is a gun I will not lightly put into a game for free because that one sucks. Like it is a monster of a gun. The regular Verpine Shatter Rifle is like already pretty monstrous, but it's also a fucking expensive art piece. It's like an artisanal, bespoke, slug thrower gun, railgun thing. So, like, yeah, they're expensive. They're fragile. You guys may end up selling it because I don't think any of the ranged characters are interested in it. Also, so, Lucky, I'm confused by a lighting thing on screen. Are, like, the shades, like, moving in some invisible wind or something? Because I keep seeing these streaks of light play across the floor. Also, your Panther totally murdered that dude before you could shoot him.
I need to check the curtains and stuff, but
there. But yeah, I was just like, I just keep seeing like streaks of light play across the ground, like not like those squares, but like long form. Is there like a lighting glitch? What are we doing here?
I'm not seeing one. It might have something to do with like maybe the time of day, because that might be moving around and stuff.
True. If the sun's moving, there may have been like an angle. It was just it caught my eye a couple of times, and I'm like, that seems out of place. That's weird. But
I missed.
Right, we're gonna continue Star Wars, of course. Like it will continue to murder, but we're almost.
Thank
at
you.
2 hours.
Cat saved me.
I like that pause where just like you're like, oh hey, it's you, and then just kick.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to melee people from the front. They will just knock you on the fucking ground. There's an item you can wear that prevents them from doing that. Ha 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 ha. Again, you know what? Fuck this. You're not wearing fucking armor. Oh, everyone's dead.
Everybody's dead, Dave.
But no, like I'm excited for Star Wars. Like I said, I'm hoping we're over the hump. Like I said, I was actually kind of thinking like who would I want as like junior representative? Like I probably want to put someone that I would know, but I was trying to think, I don't know who I'd put up there. Like
I got some. The people without your input would come up with some ideas, so I threw some stuff out there.
Cool.
I don't usually like to leave the players like completely hanging without planning. Like they have to know what they're planning around, kind of.
Yeah, no, like I could probably I could throw my support behind a representative. All that good stuff. But yeah, no. After this session, though, I think it's we're taking that quick break for the sprawl, right?
Yes, probably. Because like I said, the next like we're leading to the climax, so the next segment will be like you guys will pick from very direct like military missions of various types that are supposed to be interconnected. Like if you pick like, attack the dam before attack the power plant or something, Not literally saying, by the way, that there are necessarily dams or power plants, but you know what I mean. Like, there may or may not be a dam. I don't know for sure. I have some ideas about, I have rough ideas for everything, but like, there's supposed to be interactions. Like, say if there is an airbase and then you guys go to another thing, well, you may not be able to like aerial attack this other target until you take care of the airbase because the airbase is in the area to provide air reinforcements. If you, attack the airbase before you attack the power plant with the shield generators, maybe the airbase is, like, shielded, so, you got to do different stuff. So I need to, like, plan out my chain links and, like, coordinate everything so it all, like, meshes together, and I may or may not need some extra weeks. I may not have the time to completely plot this out, give you your briefing, and have you guys, come up with a plan in 1 or 2 weeks.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing out this. It's just, on this table. 1, stop spreading the rumor that McKay is down with it. Whatever that is. Management. And then just over here, I quit. Just like, it's the little things like that. Oh, what's this say? Do not waste toner / management. No one finds this funny, Juan management. Okay. Juan was a character. Like, I'm just looking at this thing. It just says, do not waste toner, - management. And then just someone in all black with just, okay. Underneath it, no one finds this funny, Juan. Management, you are wrong. I find this hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I need more Juan in my life now. Shit, now I gotta look.
But while Lucky's looking at that, I think after we finish our Star Wars, across 3 hours. Like I said, I'm getting a little cramped sitting here.
Billy, I don't care if you read it in the
Relax.
business journal, yelling "give it to me" over and over to investor is not a good way to close a deal.
Corporate. I think that seems like it's a good time to wrap down, though.
If you don't replace the paper roll and the gorillas win, do you hate Yara? This is so dumb.
Wow. All right, so like I said, the game has a sense of humor for sure.
Yes.
Which is good.
Very good.
But yeah, I think we should probably... It's almost 10 p.m. I would like... So let's wind it down and Lucky for more Easter eggs.
Yes.
So we finish on a cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
Very square table. We're gonna do the usual wrap-up stuff. Hey, if you liked this video, Be sure to give it a like. We got about 8 concurrent viewers currently as we kind of wind down and only 5 likes. So some of you should do some flexing there. All right. So give us a like. If you have any comments, leave in the comment section down below. You can also join our Discord. The link is, as always, in the video description and channel page. Check it out. If you are new here, please subscribe for more videos like this and other stuff. If you also want to go ahead and hit that bell for notifications, you should, so you can always get our latest videos and live streams, such as on Monday, when Lucky will be taking the wheel back for some Alan Wake streamifying. That should be interesting.
You people, I can feel the love.
You can also join our channel memberships for sweet emotes and membership badges, as you can see displayed in the live chat now.
Yes.
It's pretty sick. If you get more memberships, we get more emote slots.
More emo slot.
Yeah, I don't think we've ported over all our... I have to double check. I don't know if we've gotten many more members lately. I should double check everything, see if we've got any more slots, because we haven't ported over all of our Discord emotes. Anyway, I will also leave you with one final thing. You can, of course, as we said at the beginning of the show, support us on Patreon. Get access to episodes early, get access to audio downloads, lots of other goodies and good things. And I think that is everything. So, via con Dios, everybody.
Later, everyone.